Chapter 1478. The opening of the 10,000 Races battlefield resonated with tens of thousands of passages. The strongest laws swept across the continents and spread across the vast, undying heavenly domain in a short period of time. The tens of thousands of ancient passages turned into the strongest gates, filled with the majestic aura of the immortal Tao. At the same time, the strongest laws descended. It was hard to decipher what they meant. Each and every door was like an ancient path that led to the strongest immortal Tao. Clouds swirled around them as they shimmered with divine light. If one stared into the depths, they would be able to see the ancient immortal realms at the end of the passageway. This is the 10,000 Races battlefield. It's like a huge world. I wonder where it is located? The experts discussed. They had finally seen a corner of the second stage of the Emperor Road, the 10,000 Races battlefield. It was too majestic and magnificent. Even the experts of the older generation fell silent. Where exactly was the Emperor Road? The passages seemed to lead to another world, another dimension. It was quite mysterious. It was hard to describe how mysterious the Emperor Road was. Perhaps only the Celestial Court would know the ultimate secret. After all, some of the old antiques who lived in that era knew that the ultimate battlefield was heavily related to the Celestial Court. Boom! Suddenly, a supreme aura was released. A majestic golden list appeared in the giant passage in the sky of the Golden Sun continent. It came crashing down with enough force to suppress the primordial spirits of the kings. Look, it's the Emperor Road. The world was in an uproar. Countless geniuses' eyes were burning with passion. The golden list appeared near the golden list. On the list, there were no less than 1,000,000 names. It was extremely brilliant and glorious. However, the world knew very well, once the 10,000 Races battlefield had a top 10,000 list, there would only be 10,000 names left on the Emperor Road. One had to admit that it was cruel. If one wanted to leave his name in history and shine on the Emperor Road again, he would have to fight and fight for supremacy. However, what he would face would not be limited to just one continent. It would be the strongest geniuses of the undying heavenly domain fighting and clashing with each other. Just thinking about it made people's blood boil. The undying heavenly domain was a vast stage. Only the Emperor Road could open up a battlefield to determine the top 10,000, the top 100, and even the top of the Emperor Road. Countless people's blood was boiling. Suyin clenched his fists tightly, his eyes burning with the flames of war. Just thinking about it made one's emotions surge. This was a huge event that affected all of the inheritances and millions of participants. In that case, who exactly would be able to rise above the rest and take the lead? No one could say for sure. Only in the future, only the most powerful would they be able to create legends and glory. I wonder who's going to become the supreme of the monarch ranking in this life. It's going to be a terrifying era. It's extremely difficult to become a supreme on the monarch ranking. Even some of the ancient factions have a great chance. That's right. Don't forget that the 10,000 Tribes battlefield is the most powerful road of heavenly ascension. It contains super powerful opportunities. Even the weaker hollow immortals might be able to obtain great opportunities in the 10,000 Tribes battlefield and compete for the most powerful hegemony in the future. Countless people were discussing fervently. Many Ingjia with great potential were burning with battle blood. Everyone wanted to clash with the strongest Ingjia, supreme of the monarch ranking. In the vast immortal heavenly domain, some of the entrances and continents emitted powerful battle intents that pierced through the sky and poured down. The unstoppable aura was extremely terrifying. The monarch ranking appeared for the second time. A large number of peerless experts stood out with flames of war burning in their eyes. They wanted to compete for the most powerful hegemony. The royal family, the aristocratic family that has existed for billions of years. Is there going to be a battle emperor? It's said that the bloodline of the strongest is flowing in their body. They want to compete for the most powerful hegemony. Some of the continents were terrifying. Some peerless experts of the same generation had awakened from their slumber. Their battle intents reached 100,000 zhang. The instant the blood of the royal family was ignited, their aura suppressed everyone in the universe, causing a large number of participants to tremble in fear. Some of the powerful geniuses were terrified. They had already lost their will to fight before they could even compete. Their future was bleak. Roar. Some of the continents were filled with ferocious auras that blotted out the sky. Countless participants were in despair when they saw a giant ancient beast about to swallow the entire sky and refine the stars in the sky. It was truly terrifying. This was a heavenly beast that had the potential to be unrivaled in its generation. It unleashed its strongest will just like that. This kind of creature has even appeared. Even the true immortals of the great firmament were stunned. This was a heavenly beast that was too difficult to be born. It belonged to the supreme beings. Some people seriously suspected that once the Emperor Road that had been sealed for 1,000,000 years was opened, the struggle for the top 10 of the monarch ranking would be exceptionally bitter. There would definitely be terrifying great calamities that would step out one after another. It would probably be the most terrifying golden age in a long time. Of course, some of the continents were not peaceful. There were peerless heroes who could not hold back their emotions and erupted, wanting to compete for the most powerful hegemony. However, a great change occurred. A palm stretched out from the outer realm. It was boundlessly large, as if it could suppress the entire starry sky and destroy the most powerful enemy. Heavens! The crowd of heroes trembled in fear as they watched a powerful hero being blasted apart by a single palm strike. This was too great a shock to them. Just how powerful was this peerless expert of the same generation? To be able to destroy a peak void immortal in a single move, the battle prowess was just too inconceivable. Magical power is heaven-reaching. Could it be? The older generation was horrified. Then they saw a handsome man in a yellow robe walking over step by step. With every step he took, heaven and earth pulsated, and the sun and moon rumbled. As he walked over step by step, his aura became more and more shocking. Soon, his magical power surged into the sky, filled with the power of heaven-reaching. Heaven-reaching immortal body. It's the heaven-reaching young master. The world was shocked. A legendary figure had arrived. The heaven-reaching immortal body was known as the most powerful treasure body. Once he possessed it, his magical power would be unrivaled in the same generation. Its magnificence was unimaginable, and anyone could capture it. The boundless magical power in the heaven-reaching young master made the true immortals doubt their lives. Was this really a void immortal? Even the immortal realm was so frightening. Once he stepped into the true immortal realm, the era of the heaven-reaching immortal body would arrive. Who in the same generation could compete with him? This was the peerless Ingjia who was known as the top 3 on the monarch ranking. He was qualified to compete for the top spot on the monarch ranking. Not only was the heaven-reaching young master here, but he was also accompanied by more than a dozen beautiful women. Each of them was extremely beautiful, and they could dominate any continent. Not only was the heaven-reaching young master's magical power unrivaled in the same generation, but he was also a top-notch handsome man. When he arrived at the entrance of the 10,000 tribe battlefield, his eyes were filled with immortal radiance as he looked at the monarch ranking. Although there were millions of names on the monarch ranking, all of the names flashed in his eyes. Very quickly, his eyes were fixed on a name. Then he looked at a perfectly proportioned golden girl among the 10 beauties beside him and said faintly, "Ji, that person called Su Yin is really dead." The golden woman was extremely beautiful. Her golden hair fell to her waist, and she was wearing golden armor that outlined her perfect figure. This sentence touched her heartstrings. She did not want to talk about it, but she still replied, "His corpse is gone. He was buried in the dark calamity and can't come back. What a pity." The heaven-reaching young master sighed softly. "Young master, isn't it just a dead person?" A beautiful woman walked out. Her snow-white cheeks were only the size of a palm, and her skin was delicate. Wu Chili asked curiously with a sweet smile, "What's there to pity? It's not him that's pitiful. It's the Xianhuang universe. The heaven-reaching young master frowned slightly. The immortal weapon tree had taken the remnant origin energy of the Xianhuang universe to nourish a supreme immortal weapon. However, the immortal weapon was somewhat damaged and had not been fully developed. However, the Xianhuang universe was already shrouded in darkness. It was really a pity. This supreme treasure had been nourished by the energy of the Xianhuang universe for 1,000,000 years. Its value was even more shocking than the Xian people's supreme treasure, the immortal cauldron. This was the strongest supreme treasure embryo that his master had prepared for him. The time for the passage to the 10,000 tribe battlefield to be completely mature was getting closer and closer. At the entrance of the 10,000 tribe battlefield, there was a heated discussion about the supreme monarch ranking. This was a supreme honor, especially this time. It was a golden age. To be able to be the supreme monarch ranking in such a golden age was definitely an unparalleled ingjia. I suddenly remembered someone called Su Yin, a one-man monarch ranking. That person, it's a pity. He rose from a crippled universe and killed the Xian people's 10 heroes, Xian Hongda. If he could be nurtured by an immortal sect, he would definitely be someone in the future. It's really a pity. The people were all too familiar with this name. He had once dominated the monarch ranking alone for many years. This made people sigh. Is there any sign of the celestial court rising from the ashes? Su Yin has fallen, but the young demon king has risen. He's incredible. Until now, we still can't find any trace of him. It's as if he had evaporated from the world. The celestial court was almost destroyed 1,000,000 years ago. There's still some organizations left, but it's too difficult for them to rise again. They have lost their strongest environment. It's completely impossible for them to become invincible in their generation. Whether it was Su Yin or the young demon king, many people were talking about it. This Emperor Road was related to the celestial court. There was once a person on the monarch ranking. He died without a complete corpse. What's there to talk about? And the young demon king, I don't believe that the top 10,000 list of the 10,000 tribes battlefield will have a place for you. Some of the Xian people said unkindly. Although Su Yan's name was still there, how long could it last? Once the final battle of the 10,000 tribes battlefield started, only the top 10,000 list would be left on the monarch ranking. Su Yan? What a pitiful pair. In the Golden Sun continent, Zhu Yao smiled proudly. She still remembered the relationship between Bamboo Moon and Su Yan. It was a pity that they were both dead and buried in the Xianhuang universe. Because of the young demon king, Zhu Yao hated the celestial court. She sneered in her heart, a bunch of fugitives who have lost their roots. Without roots, how long can they live? When this Emperor Road ends, the immortal celestial domain will undergo a change. When that day comes, the celestial court will be completely destroyed. Soon, Su Yin stood near the entrance of the Golden Sun continent, wearing a black armor. He mumbled to himself, soon, I will be myself again. Xia Kunlun, young demon king, that's all in the past. My name is Su Yin. The 10,000 tribes battlefield was a battlefield for the younger generation. He believed that he could rise, strengthen himself, and step into the true immortal realm. This would be the place for him to rise. His eyes were blazing as he looked at the passageway to another world. Su Yin realized that the passageway was completely formed. The supreme laws intertwined, forming a huge passageway that seemed to lead to the heavens. Rumble. In an instant, the entire immortal celestial domain was in an uproar. Countless figures followed the passageway and charged towards the 10,000 tribes battlefield. Su Yan's blood was boiling. The day had finally come. Chapter 1479. The passageway was huge and was formed by the strongest laws. It was indestructible, and its width was immeasurable. The moment the countless cultivators entered, they were all amazed. This passageway was so big that it was boundless. It was as if many continents were placed together, and they could not see the end. It was a visual impact. Once this passageway was formed, the tens of thousands of participants would have to enter the 10,000 tribe battlefield through the passageway. Ah! Someone screamed. His head was bleeding, and he held his bleeding head as he cried out in pain. Many people were shocked. They were speechless when they saw the man who wanted to take a shortcut. Although this passageway could lead to the 10,000 tribe battlefield, it required a special time and a special passageway to enter the 10,000 tribe battlefield. Trying to break the passageway and enter by force? That was simply courting death. Don't act rashly. The Sky Bamboo Army stood in a corner of the passageway, waiting. They did not act rashly. Unbelievable. Su Yin was shocked. He scanned the passageway and could clearly see the vast territory below the passageway. Below was the Emperor Road. Su Yin was in disbelief. When he took a small step in the passageway, the environment below the passageway changed completely. It was as if he had crossed thousands of miles. What a terrifying space-time energy. Taking a step in the passageway is equivalent to crossing vast rivers and mountains for the world below. This passageway is really magical. No wonder it's called the path to heaven. Su Yin muttered in his heart. He could feel the powerful aura contained in the passageway. There was a profound space-time, profound meaning that was extremely difficult to comprehend. Boom! All of a sudden, the sound of thunder exploded, deafening everyone's ears. The path to heaven trembled. The instant the majestic ancient road trembled, the endless passageway instantly surged out. One after another, brilliant rays of light flowed with a shocking aura. It was very shocking. Each ray of light had a different color. Some were green, some were purple, some were blue, some were gold. The rays of light were enough to sweep across continents. They were like immortal swords that pierced through the passageway and opened up huge space-time wormholes. It was a shocking scene. The grand passageway and the appearance of tens of thousands of space-time wormholes. Each space-time wormhole was like an arrangement of ancient stars, exuding a supreme aura that could crush the space and time of the heavenly domain. How terrifying! The crowd trembled. Even the strongest group of heroes were terrified. Even the peak void immortals were scared out of their wits. They all had the mentality of submitting to the space-time wormhole. What is this? Someone asked. After all, it had been 1,000,000 years, and some tribes had limited knowledge of the Emperor Road. They did not know what these space-time wormholes represented. To be precise, every space-time wormhole represents the strongest seat. Could it be that these space-time wormholes were the Emperor Road's battle platforms? After all, the 10,000 space-time wormholes affected the entire 10,000 tribe battlefield. It can indeed be called the Emperor Road battle stage. However, the Emperor Road battle stage in the 10,000 tribe battlefield is different. If you can stand on the battle platform, you will be able to enjoy the supreme fortune and opportunity. Another person followed suit. Before he could finish his words, the crowd was even more shocked. Su Yin instantly saw blurry figures emerging from the space-time wormholes. Each figure was filled with an earth-shattering divine might. Although they were true immortals, the aura they exuded was incomparable. Each of them had an invincible aura that could suppress millions of geniuses. These are the former Emperor Road battle stage, 10,000 strong. The crowd was shocked. The previous Emperor Road battle stage, 10,000 strong, appeared. Each figure had a different aura, but they were all powerful and heaven-defying. Their figures intertwined with the space-time wormholes, and their auras became more and more shocking. One could see that the space-time wormholes were glowing, and the blurry figures in the space-time wormholes were awakening. In an instant, they enlarged and covered a vast territory. They began to seize the fortune of heaven and earth to strengthen themselves. Oh my God! Everyone went crazy. These were the former Emperor Road battle stage, 10,000 strong. This was because each powerhouse who reigned supreme in the space-time wormhole could obtain the supreme fortune to baptize themselves. This was the embodiment of eternal strength. Su Yin was dumbfounded. The Emperor Road battle stage, 10,000 strong, could obtain the supreme fortune to baptize themselves. This was truly eternal strength. It was impossible for them not to be powerful. Countless cultivators had mixed feelings. Some were longing, some were disappointed, some were sighing. Each of them had different emotions. After all, it was too difficult. To dominate a space-time wormhole and suppress millions of geniuses, how difficult was that? Any powerhouse who could stand out would be glorious. Not only them, even the great figures of the major immortal sects in the outside world were looking forward to the peerless geniuses of their clan to be baptized by the astonishing fortune of the Emperor Road battle stage, 10,000 strong. Only by dominating the strongest position would they be qualified to compete for the top 100, top 10, and even the supreme position of the Emperor Road battle stage, 10,000 strong. Without a doubt, the supreme position of the Emperor Road battle stage, 10,000 strong, was only available to the geniuses nurtured by the most powerful immortal sects. Once such a person appeared, he would definitely be the world-shaking Ingia. His strength was unimaginable. Boom! Within a short period of time, 10,000 space-time wormholes glowed. Each of the wormholes revealed a magnificent territory that was excessively rich in undying material. Some of the lands were emitting auspicious rays and the glow of the immortal path. The lands were shocking. Even though they were not immortal caves, those who cultivated in them for a long time would definitely improve rapidly. Charge! The path to heaven trembled as countless cultivators charged toward the space-time wormholes. Follow me. Zhu Yao led the army toward the space-time wormhole where the aura of the primogenitor was flowing. They could not stay on the path to heaven for too long. The longer they stayed, the stronger the suppression of the rules would be. Su Yin could feel a strong pressure approaching him. Some of the weaker cultivators could not hold on any longer and were swept out of the 10,000 tribe battlefield. These cultivators were utterly humiliated. They were eliminated before they could even enter the entrance. It was ridiculous. Whoosh! In the distant space-time, a bright sword embryo shone. Soon, tens of millions of thick sword rays surged down. They exploded at a corner of the path to heaven and lit up the entire space-time wormhole. The cultivators who were about to enter the space-time wormhole felt a chill run down their spines. Who dares to fight for the creation with me? This place belongs to me now, and in the future. His shocking words shocked everyone. Su Yin glanced at the space-time wormhole that Fan Jian wanted to occupy. His eyes stung as if he saw hundreds of millions of killing swords unsheathing. This was a sword tomb with an ancient inheritance, and there was a rare sword embryo hidden within. Everyone wanted to enter to search for their own good fortune. How could they watch as Fan Jian monopolized it all for himself? Su Yin was envious. This was definitely one of the top creation lands in the 10,000 tribe battlefield. He could already see void immortals attacking Fan Jian. Want to monopolize such a great creation? Unless he, Fan Jian, had the power to kill all of them. Along the way, the path to heaven became more and more chaotic. Bloody battles had already erupted in many space-time wormholes. There were even top void immortals fighting. What's this space-time wormhole? Su Yin was surprised. He realized that his incomplete, uncanny craftsmanship series puppets were faintly moving. His eyes scanned through a space-time wormhole and saw the world below. They had already gone crazy from the killing. Could it be related to the uncanny craftsmanship sect? Su Yin muttered. At the same time, he sighed. The 10,000 tribe battlefield was truly a super creation land. Bloody battles broke out in one space-time wormhole after another. It was quite cruel. This is crazy. I wonder how many people will die. This was a glorious day, but it was also a bloody day. Terrifying events had happened before. Invincible experts of the same generation had massacred various resource lands, harvesting the creation and madly strengthening themselves. Boom! At this time, Zhu Yao led tens of thousands of elite troops and arrived at the destination. Immortal medicine. Before Su Yin could see the specific environment, he heard a shocking roar. He looked over and saw a stalk of medicine shining on a magnificent mountain. It flowed with the light of the immortal path, and it was chanting the immortal path's voice on its own. Kill! All the cultivators who saw the immortal medicine were envious. This was an immortal medicine with astonishing value. It was of great help to true immortals. This place belongs to my sky bamboo lineage. Whoever dares to touch a blade of grass or a tree will be killed without mercy. Zhu Yao's words were domineering. She waved her hand, and tens of thousands of elite troops directly crushed forward. Her posture was too wild, and she could completely sweep everything away. Puff! A large number of immortals fighting for the immortal medicine splashed blood in the sky in fear. This was tens of thousands of elite troops crushing all the way here. They were like a flood of steel that swept through this resource land, intimidating the people who arrived here one after another until their legs went weak. The 10,000 tribe battlefield that has been sealed for 1,000,000 years must have nurtured a large number of immortal medicine and precious mineral veins. As long as we can conquer this place, our clan's treasury will be filled to the brim, and we can cultivate a large number of elite cultivators. An older elder laughed loudly, walking over to pick the immortal medicine. At the same time, he said, as long as we work together as one, take down this resource land. When the time comes, there will be rewards based on contribution. Everyone will be able to obtain benefits. Everyone will be able to obtain top-quality resource lands to cultivate in seclusion. Those who perform well will be able to get the immortal medicine to cultivate. Several elders stepped forward to boost the morale. Tens of thousands of elite troops roared. Who are you kidding? Immortal medicine? No matter how amazing the 10,000 tribe battlefield's environment is, it's extremely difficult to get immortal medicine. Su Yin scratched his head. He felt a little restless in his heart. He thought that if the Heavenly Bamboo faction really conquered this territory, their gains would be considerable. If he could fish in troubled waters, he would definitely be able to make a fortune. The calamity was brewing. It was not only here. Tens of thousands of space-time wormholes had already erupted in peak battles. The scale was too large, and it was extremely bloody. In the past, when the Emperor Road opened, the bloody days would last for at least 10 days and 10 nights. I wonder how long the bloody days will last this time. This is a golden age. The participants will be counted in hundreds of millions. At the various entrances of the 10,000 tribe battlefield, important figures were entrenched. They were using their space-time mirrors to observe the path to heaven. It had to be said that the various patriarchs were envious. They saw the immortal medicine being picked and the earth-shattering treasure lands being excavated. There were also some realms where lightning filled the sky. There were definitely extraordinary geniuses undergoing their tribulations. The immortal realm triggered the law lightning tribulations, which affected the vast rivers and mountains. Once these people were baptized by the lightning tribulations, they would be quite impressive. What was even more outrageous was that some of the older half-step true immortals had directly opened the path to true immortality, intending to achieve the true immortal realm. There is no doubt that most of these people came from immortal sect orthodoxies. With the support of a strong foundation, they could become true immortals in just a few short months. They could even break through a small realm. The bloody days came one day after another. Heavens, look! Only 10 days had passed, and the giants entrenched in the outside world were shocked. Some experts were fighting until the sea of stars boiled, crushing thousands of geniuses. Just the aura that surged out from them alone was enough to drown the entire space-time wormhole. What was this? It had only been 10 days, and someone was going to dominate the top 10,000 list and enjoy the baptism of fortune? If that was really the case, there would most likely be a peak true immortal expert in the next few years. It was really terrifying and outrageous. The 10,000 tribe battlefield was a big stage for peerless geniuses. After 1,000,000 years, there would most likely be extraordinary existences rushing to the supremacy position. The Xian people's young supremacy. It seems that he's qualified to compete for the top 3 on the monarch ranking. The praises of the various giants made the Xian people sneer. What was the top 3 on the monarch ranking? The supremacy on the monarch ranking was his goal. After all, the Black Mist had given the Xian people too many young supremacies. It's him. In a place far away from here, Su Yin vaguely caught a special aura that was changing and affecting him. His face was a little cold. It was definitely the Xian people's young supremacy. Chapter 1480. The bloody days were still going on. A massive amount of creation had appeared, causing everyone to go crazy. All the space-time wormholes were in a frenzy. More and more cultivators joined in, and eventually, even the immortal orthodoxies started to fight. A world where gods and demons danced. A bloody battle in the heavens. The vast path to heaven was dyed red with blood, causing the experts outside the entrance to tremble in fear. The number of casualties was immeasurable. There were also void immortals who died in battle, and there were also leaders of powerful clans who fell. There were even peerless geniuses who came one after another. They were going to devour the entire region, illuminate the heavens, and become invincible kings who ruled the space-time wormholes. There are almost 100 peerless geniuses who have the bearing of an invincible king. It's much more glorious than the previous Emperor Road openings. Yeah, although the Celestial Court is missing in this Emperor Road expedition, after 1,000,000 years, many geniuses have emerged. This is really a golden age. What's the Celestial Court? Is there any inheritor who dares to stand out? Not a single one. The people of the strange sky sect sneered. Although there were still some forces struggling at death's door, they did not believe that this clan could still dominate the strongest position in the 10,000 tribe battlefield. Where's the young devil king? There's no movement at all. The experts of the Xian people had cold expressions on their faces. They used powerful space-time secret treasures to inspect the hundreds of peerless geniuses. Unfortunately, they did not find any inheritor of the Celestial Court. After 20 days of fighting, the vast 10,000 tribe battlefield gradually quieted down. Zhu Yao led tens of thousands of elite soldiers, but they suffered heavy casualties. Less than 7,000 of them survived. One could imagine how tragic this battle was. It was difficult to count the number of enemies who had fallen at their feet. The world was almost dyed red with blood. The various space-time wormholes led to treasure lands, releasing shocking power that intimidated everyone. Has it calmed down? Su Yin led a small team and advanced along a path. In half a month, it was difficult for them to catch their breath. Su Yin looked at the blood-stained sky. The bloody days had finally calmed down. Although the battles were still going on, there would be very few large-scale bloody battles in the following period of time, unless gold and treasure appeared. The heavenly bamboo lineage controlled a vast amount of resources. Along the way, Su Yin discovered quite a number of heavenly materials and earthly treasures. He secretly took action to fill his own pockets, but regrettably, he was unable to secretly seize the celestial medicine. The life energy flowing through the celestial herbs was too vigorous. Once celestial herbs were discovered along the way, they would be taken away by the celestial bamboo experts. Su Yin could only stare helplessly. Now was not the time for him to be exposed, so he did not dare to act rashly. He followed the army as they roamed, reaping bountiful rewards. Xia Kunlun, you've gained quite a bit, and I've recorded it all down. Once things are settled here, I'll reward you with a large amount of resources to help you achieve the Tao of immortality. On this day, a true immortal with an astonishing aura came. Su Yin took the initiative to hand over his harvest. This true immortal's aura was extremely powerful. Not long after he broke through, there was an exceptionally dense, immortal Tao aura leaking out. Many thanks, Elder. Su Yin nodded and thanked him. His name was Zhu Yankai, and he was Zhu Yao's personal expert. She had a total of 2 true immortals by her side, but these were only the ones by Zhu Yao's side. According to Su Yan's investigation, the heavenly bamboo lineage had at least a dozen true immortals in this area. This number was incredible. Although most of them were only at the 1st or 2nd level, their combat strength was exceptionally astonishing under the unique environment of the 10,000 tribe battlefield. Rest here and wait for my notice. Zhu Yansai's eyes scanned Su Yin several times. He did not find any hidden space-time treasures on him, so he retracted his gaze. This old fellow, even if I hide it, I won't be able to find it. Su Yin curled his lips. He was unhappy that he had handed over most of his harvest. However, he also knew that if the heavenly bamboo lineage had not used bloody methods to conquer this vast resource treasure land, it would not have been easy to harvest the resources smoothly. Zhu Yankai left and went to the various large teams to collect the harvest. Of course, there were also some who were found to be stuffing their own pockets. However, they were all killed without mercy, intimidating the subordinates. The large and small teams did not dare to act recklessly. All of their harvest was handed over. This old fellow is so rich. I wonder where he will transport the things he harvested to. He can't possibly transport them back to the family, right? Su Yan's eyes lit up as he looked at Zhu Yankai's back. His heart was restless, and he wanted to directly suppress Zhu Yankai. However, he held back. Important matters were more important. Su Yan, it's time to move. Giant Bamboo emitted a small spiritual wave and said, "The primogenitor's aura in this area is extremely dense. The primogenitor's place of death should be here. I want to act first and enter the primogenitor's place of death before they do." Yes, it's time to move. Su Yan stretched his body and ordered his subordinates to rest on the spot. Giant Bamboo's spiritual power was constantly exploring every inch of space-time. After all, it was the primogenitor's disciple. Although it had been 1,000,000 years, the primogenitor's aura was still unforgettable. Follow my instructions and move quickly. Giant Bamboo's tone was low. Regardless of whether the primogenitor had fallen or not, the good fortune left behind by him must not be taken away by others. A city. Su Yan sprinted madly, crossing all the way. Soon, he saw an ancient city. Although the city wasn't too big, it scattered a vast amount of immortal Tao light. Moreover, it swallowed a vast amount of heaven and earth essence. The essence chi in the city was excessively dense. Su Yan frowned. An ancient city had appeared in the second stage of the Emperor Road in the 10,000 tribe battlefield. Could this really be an ancient realm that had passed away? Otherwise, why would an ancient city appear? There should have been a powerful civilization here in the past, but why was it destroyed? One had to admit that the Emperor Road was really mysterious. Giant Bamboo said, "There's an ancient city in every space-time wormhole. The reason why there's so much killing in this area is because of the ancient cities. The ancient cities are extraordinary. They gather the essence of the 10,000 tribe battlefield. As long as we can take down a city, it's enough to establish a foothold in the 10,000 tribe battlefield." Su Yan could naturally see that the entire ancient city was engraved with countless killing array symbols. Once a strong enemy invaded, they could directly use the killing power of the entire city, which was enough to fight against thousands of soldiers and horses. Of course, it was not easy to master the ancient city's killing formation. The Sky Bamboo faction also needed to spend a lot of time studying it. Su Yan saw people coming and going in the city. They were all core disciples of the Sky Bamboo faction. He even saw many true immortals going in and out. They were most likely transporting some resources or treasures. After all, the city's defense was amazing and could store a lot of resources. The resources that Zhu Yankai collected are probably all in the city's treasure vault. Su Yan thought to himself, this city was heavily guarded. No one was allowed to come close. Once a powerful enemy attacked, they would be killed immediately. It's time to go. Su Yan took a few glances and stayed far away from the city. Along the way, it was not peaceful. Many experts were secretly exploring the vast region. Su Yan carefully avoided them. Very soon, Su Yan approached a large blood-colored plain where there were very few people. The entire place was withered in yellow. It was like a land of death. The underground essence is all dried up. This kind of place is rare in the 10,000 tribe battlefield. Su Yan was alarmed. The blood-colored plain was 1,000,000 miles deep. However, the entire plain's energy was dried up. After a long time, there were no signs of recovery. The primogenitor's aura here is rather thin. At this moment, the giant bamboo trembled. However, there are wisps of extremely pure aura that are faintly discernible. We might have arrived at our destination. The giant bamboo could not calm down. It felt that this was the aura of the primogenitor's main body. What? It's here. Su Yin was pleasantly surprised. There were no powerhouses of the sky bamboo lineage in this blood-colored plane. He excitedly explored the blood-colored plane. Soon, the giant bamboo confirmed a space-time node. Wonk! A withered yellow bamboo leaf flew out. When the giant bamboo's essence, energy, and spirit erupted, it instantly turned into a giant bamboo wrapped in an ancient aura. It shot toward the space-time node it sensed. Gotcha! This space-time collapsed. However, it encountered an extremely strong obstruction and was difficult to penetrate. Su Yan's heaven's eye opened and observed this space-time node. However, when he observed it at a deeper level, he felt a piercing pain in his eyes. He couldn't see any clues, but he could sense an extremely powerful aura that had existed since ancient times. Su Yan felt a chill all over his body. He could sense a pressure that originated from the river of time. It was terrifying and made it difficult for him to breathe. It should be here, the giant bamboo said excitedly. We found it. This is a world that the primogenitor opened before he died. The heavens are helping me. Su Yan grinned and continued to explore this area. Along the way, he opened over 100 space-time nodes. Finally, this time, Su Yan found a door. An ancient vortex appeared in the space-time node that he had opened. Bang! The ancient vortex spun, revealing an ancient desolation that affected one's mind. Su Yan was unable to investigate it. The deeper he looked, the greater the pressure on his mind. This left him horrified. It was as if he was facing a world-destroying vortex that swallowed everything. It's definitely here. Su Yan was shaken. I never thought that we would find it so easily. Ha ha ha. Don't be happy too early. It's still not easy to succeed. The giant bamboo's voice was low, causing Su Yan to shiver. Could it be that the giant bamboo couldn't enter the vortex? It was the primogenitor's disciple. If even it couldn't enter, then everyone else would have come in vain. It's a little troublesome. The giant bamboo smiled bitterly. This space-time vortex needs to be opened with the sky bamboo scripture. As a remnant soul, it will take at least an incense stick's worth of time to inscribe the sky bamboo scripture in the vortex. However, this time will cause quite a commotion. Su Yan's heart sank. We're only a step away from success. Senior, act immediately. Don't waste any more time. Things might change if we delay. Su Yan, it's too dangerous. In the space-time secret palace, Bamboo Moon's expression was filled with worry. We've already come this far. There's hope for true immortal, and there's great hope for Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal. I don't want to see any more risks. This is a resource land that the sky bamboo lineage took. It's too dangerous. The giant bamboo also sighed. Yes, it was too dangerous. When the time came, Su Yan would have to face the wrath of an entire tribe. Who could endure it? Su Yan's mind entered the space-time secret palace, and an avatar appeared. He looked at Bamboo Moon and smiled. It's nothing. Trust me. I believe you. But Bamboo Moon's face was filled with worry. Before she could finish speaking, Su Yan's hands landed on her shoulders. I want to risk my life for this one time. Just this one time. Trust me. I won't lose. Su Yan. Bamboo Moon's emotions fluctuated violently. Her bright starry eyes were slightly red. Don't worry. I'll wait for my return. No matter who it is, whether it's Zhu Songhua or the tribe's true immortal, no one can stop me. Su Yan said calmly, but he was still so domineering and confident. He had fallen into too many desperate situations before, but he had finally killed his way out. In this life, Bamboo Moon had risked her life for Su Yan. Now it was her turn. Let's begin. Su Yan's avatar shattered. His main body stood on the great scarlet plain. He said coldly, they don't deserve to be in charge of the primogenitor's fortune. Now that Bamboo Moon can't do it, I'll end their fantasies. All right, Giant Bamboo roared. Soul Chi erupted, turning into mysterious and peerless characters. He activated the sky bamboo scripture and reflected the spatial vortex. Chapter 1481. Woo-woo. As if an ancient bugle horn had been blown, the scarlet plains began to tremble. There was also a vast chanting of sutras. The the momentum becoming more and more spectacular. It was as if a powerful deity was chanting the great Tao heavenly scripture. It was obvious that a shocking change had taken place here. The space-time vortex above the Scarlet Plains was resplendent. As the sutras appeared, the vortex changed, about to outline a passage. The process was not too fast. In order to open the place where the Sky Bamboo progenitor had fallen, the complete Sky Bamboo Sutra had to be inscribed. Although the Sky Bamboo lineage had conquered a vast area of resource lands, the vast chanting of sutras from the Scarlet Plains caused a violent fluctuation, attracting everyone's attention. That is, in the vast resource lands, many experts of the Sky Bamboo lineage looked at the source. When they saw the rapidly expanding vortex and the loud chanting of sutras, it immediately caused a boundless uproar. Sky Bamboo Sutra. The first to sense it was Zhu Yanghua. Under the influence of the sutras, his body glowed and also transmitted the sutras, as if he was responding. The land of fortune is where the progenitor fell. Ha! This day has finally come. Ha! Zhu Yanghua looked up to the sky and roared, wild with joy. How could he not be excited? He quickly rushed towards the destination. At the same time, he released a powerful primordial spirit aura, informing the experts of his lineage to immediately approach the Scarlet Plains. We found the progenitor's place of death. Quick, let's rush over immediately. We can't let Zhu Yao beat us to it. This matter concerns the future of the tribes. Zhu Yanghua deserves the position of saint. The other descendants must not be allowed to enter the progenitor's place of death. In the vast resource lands, a large number of experts rushed out. One after another, true immortals stood out and began to cross towards the destination at an extremely fast speed. Of course, Zhu Yao also sensed it. Her expression was one of surprise and joy. She had not expected that the progenitor's land of fortune would be opened in such a way. Let's go, Zhu Yao shouted, her expression solemn. Zhu Yanghua had definitely sensed it too. The following contest would not be easy. This concerned the strongest creation of the tribe, and no one was willing to let others have a share of it. The progenitor's land of fortune has appeared. The entire area was in an uproar. This was a major event that could affect the rise and fall of the Sky Bamboo lineage. Those who didn't know the inside story also followed closely behind. Along the way, when they heard that it was a creation left behind by the primogenitor, they were all shocked. What kind of existence was Sky Bamboo's primogenitor? It was an invincible giant that was not inferior to the first ancestor of the Xian people. Any fortune or opportunity it left behind was enough to affect the fate of the entire heavenly bamboo lineage. On the great bloody plains, the sound of chanting could be heard. In the ancient space-time vortex, the remnant soul of the giant bamboo drifted. Although he was also very anxious to carve the Sky Bamboo scripture, he knew very well that it would take at least an incense stick's worth of time to completely carve out the Sky Bamboo scripture. In the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, a lot of things will happen. At first, Su Yin was prepared to try to activate the heaven and earth pattern to seal the opening of the passageway. In the end, he couldn't do it at all. This was a space opened by a primogenitor, so Su Yin couldn't seal it unless he could control the heaven-opening writing brush. However, before Su Yin entered the immortal Tao realm, the heaven-opening writing brush couldn't unleash any power at all. It's time to act. I have to do my best to disrupt this place. I can only win this battle. I can't afford to lose. Su Yan's eyes were filled with madness. He saw that the various powerhouses of the heavenly bamboo lineage were approaching the great bloody plains. They were so close that it could be called a chaotic dance of gods and demons. Surviving in this situation was easier said than done. Su Yin wasn't so arrogant as to start a war with all the young powerhouses of the heavenly bamboo lineage. His figure silently crossed the border and began to close in on a city in the resource lands that the heavenly bamboo lineage had dominated. The primogenitor's place of fortune had opened, so a large number of powerhouses in the ancient city had definitely left. This was the perfect opportunity for Su Yin to make his move. In short, He would use the craziest method possible to disrupt the entire resource lands. Hit the snake where it hurts. Without a doubt, if Su Yin touched the heavenly bamboo lineage's treasury, they would definitely frantically return to help. Currently, very few people from the major immortal sects dare to bring the resources they had obtained back to their families along the heavenly path. This was because there were hunters on the heavenly path that specifically targeted the powerhouses who transported the resources. Therefore, if Su Yin could kill his way into the ancient city and seize the resources, it would definitely trigger the heavenly bamboo lineage's nerves. Come, the war has begun. Su Yin laughed maniacally and closed in on the ancient city. Time was limited, so he had to do his best. The Great Bloody Plains wasn't calm now. In a short period of time, a large number of powerhouses had gathered. The atmosphere was a little tense and full of hostility. A war could break out at any time. Zhu Yao, this place is mine. Zhu Yanghua was majestic and had the demeanor of a saint. His eyes emitted a cold aura as he looked at Zhu Yao, who was rushing here. He said coldly, "Go somewhere else and find another entrance. You can also obtain the primogenitor's fortune, but this entrance is mine." Zhu Yao stepped forward and entered the state of human Tao as one. She released her pseudo-immortal combat power and said coldly, "The primogenitor's fortune is something that all of our disciples can enter to obtain. This entrance is probably the only one. Now that you're chasing me away, aren't you looking down on me too much? How dare you?" Zhu Yanghua's face darkened. He glared at Zhu Yao and shouted, "How dare you? Do you still know your status? Do you think that just because you obtained a heavenly bamboo dharma characteristic seed in the lower world, you're qualified to speak to me as an equal?" "Ha ha ha." Zhu Yao laughed coldly. "Zhu Yanghua, you're so arrogant. I admit that you're stronger than me, but you don't have the right to take away my permission to enter the primogenitor's place. What, you still want to attack me?" Zhu Yanghua laughed. His aura was exceptionally strong. A heavenly bamboo slowly appeared on his back, emitting a vision of the beginning of the world. It was dazzling and could explode with a thunderous attack at any time. On the Great Crimson Plains, experts gathered. They were all from the heavenly bamboo lineage. They had no right to interfere in the fight for the position of chosen saint. Whether it was Zhu Yao or Zhu Yanghua, their statuses and identities surpassed theirs. Although there were true immortals here, they did not dare to be unkind to either of them. In short, they had to rely on themselves to fight for this battle. "Zhu Yanghua, you're bullying the weak." A scorching heat swept over, burning the entire void until it was as black as ink. Zhu Jiuyang had arrived. It was as if he was standing in the middle of the 9 suns, emitting a source of blood essence that could incinerate the heavens. "Zhu Jiuyang, you want to join the fun too?" Zhu Yanghua's expression did not change, but became colder. "I can't watch you bully a weak woman like Zhu Yao." Zhu Jiuyang laughed coldly. "Don't think that because you're the chosen, everyone's status and identities are the same. What right do you have to restrict Zhu Yao from entering the primogenitor's place? I think you've really forgotten the pain after the scar healed." Zhu Yanghua's eyes flashed coldly. "Zhu Jiuyang, are you sure you want to fight? Have you forgotten the lesson from before?" Zhu Jiuyang was cold. Zhu Yanghua shouted, "You think I'm afraid of you? You relied on the primogenitor's item to break through to the immortal realm. What's there to be proud of?" "Ha ha ha." Zhu Yanghua laughed loudly. "Everyone knows about me. There's no need to use it to hurt me. I did rely on the primogenitor's item to break through, but who can say that I can't rely on myself to reach the immortal realm without the primogenitor's item?" The experts who were entrenched here agreed with these words. What he said was very true. I obtained the primogenitor's item. It's also my fortune. Zhu Yanghua pointed at the space created by heavenly bamboo's primogenitor and coldly said, "This is a place of fortune tailor-made for me. I don't care what your motives are, but no one can be forgiven for daring to ruin my plans." "Forgiven?" Zhu Jiuyang was furious. "You really think you're the chosen saint? Cut the crap." Zhu Yanghua waved his hand and shouted, "The two of you come together. If I lose, I'll turn around and leave. But if you lose, scram as far as you can." You better not provoke me. Otherwise, you won't have a chance to shine in the future. Bastard, you're too arrogant." His words made Zhu Yao and Zhu Jiuyang furious. They had nothing to say. Since he had said that, they joined forces and attacked. It seemed that Zhu Yanghua was determined to monopolize the primogenitor's place of fortune. If they could not suppress Zhu Yanghua with force, the primogenitor's place of fortune would have nothing to do with them. On the Scarlet Plains, 3 pseudo-immortals burned their battle prowess. The instant they clashed, an earth-shattering explosion erupted. Su Yin, who was close to the ancient city, had already seen the battle on the Scarlet Plains. He was not surprised. No one was willing to share the fortune with others. This was related to the position of the chosen saint and the future leader of the tribes. No one wanted to give it up. They would do their best to fight for it. Of course, the 7 pseudo-immortals of heavenly bamboo were not all here. Some pseudo-immortals were far away in other realms, fighting for the resource lands. Halt! Su Yin had grown up in the light. He walked all the way to the ancient city. Although the city was strong, the protective array was endless. However, it would not be so easy for the Sky Bamboo faction to control this city. Even Su Yin would need to spend a long time studying the array of the ancient city if he wanted to control it. Su Yin's aura was strong. His white robe was like dust. He strolled over like a banished immortal. Every step he took was accompanied by the sound of thunder. His posture was peerless. He had the power to suppress the mountains and swallow the stars. Although Heavenly Bamboo had a large number of immortal realm experts overseeing the ancient city, they did not dare to underestimate Su Yin. A half-step true immortal stood up and looked at Su Yin. He said, "This is the territory of Heavenly Bamboo. The ancient city is not open for the time being. Fellow Taoist, may I know why you are here? Of course there's something important. If there's nothing important, why would I come all the way here?" Su Yan's reprimand shocked the experts guarding the ancient city. They wondered who this person was. He was too arrogant to reprimand them directly. "Please wait a moment. I'll go and report." The half-step true immortals did not dare to be careless. One of them wanted to enter the city and report to the true immortal overseeing the ancient city. "There's no need to report." Su Yin looked down at the entire city and said indifferently, "I'm not here to look for someone. I want to go to your treasury to take a look and see if there are any treasures that I have lost. You can just lead the way." "You." The group of guardians was petrified. They pointed at Su Yin, unable to say a word. Chapter 1482. The group of city guards doubted their lives, thinking that they had heard wrongly. What was this young man trying to do? Was he going to their family's treasure vault to see if there were any treasures that he had lost? This was simply outrageous. "Who are you? I advise you to take back your words, or my family won't forgive you." Someone stood out and rebuked angrily. This person was clearly looking for trouble. Of course, they did not think that this person would have the guts to rob their family's treasure vault. Unless this person was crazy. Boom! Su Yin could not be bothered to talk nonsense with them. He reached out a large hand and grabbed the group of city guards. During the process, Su Yin's movements were quick, simple, and direct. The large golden hand began to suppress the city guards. So what if they were half-step true immortals? They were nothing in front of Su Yin. His extended palm was blazing, and it scattered rolling energy order toward the city guards. This is too. The city guards were furious. Did he want to suppress them with a single hand? Was this not too arrogant? Did he really think that he was a true immortal expert? However, just as they were about to resist, their bodies trembled, and they were about to collapse. Su Yan's aura was too fierce. His flesh shell flowed with soul light, and he carried a strong vitality and exuberant immortal energy. He suppressed them to the point that their hearts trembled. They were aghast, and their souls were throbbing. They were directly suppressed, and they had no right to resist. A false immortal expert. The city guards were flustered. One of the men growled, "Who is it? You're looking down on my family. My family has 7 false immortal experts, and the Overlord Supreme, Zhu Yanghua, is holding down the fort here. I advise you not to act recklessly." Zhu Yanghua is nothing. Su Yin cast a sidelong glance at them and said, Ask Zhu Yonghua to come out. I'll teach him a lesson. 7 false immortals? Ask them to line up here. I'll give them some pointers on their cultivation. Arrogant. The city guard was so angry that their faces turned green. This was too arrogant. He did not take the heavenly bamboo lineage seriously at all. I've never been one to brag. Tell him to come out, if he has the guts. Su Yin coldly shouted. His large hand shone, crushing the group of city guards until they found it difficult to breathe. One by one, they fell to the ground with a plop. The group of city guards trembled in fear. This person was too savage, completely not following common sense, directly suppressing them. Someone was able to keep his cool and said angrily, "He is a virtual immortal. It is not a big deal for him to suppress us. Zhu Yonghua is not in the city now. If you have the ability to let me go, I will call for help. Do you dare to wait? Hurry up. My time is limited. I can't wait too long." Su Yin loosened his grip and released the guardian. He shouted to the rest of the people, "You guys lead the way. I want to go to the treasury to take a look and see if there are any treasures that I have lost." The guardians nearly exploded in anger. They had thought that Su Yin was joking, but who knew that he was serious? What kind of courage did he have? How dare he set his sights on the treasury of the Sky Bamboo faction? Did he not know where he was? Dilly-dallying, you deserve to be beheaded. Su Yin raised his large hand and killed one of them on the spot, instantly suppressing the rest of the city guards. Their scalps went numb. This person was actually serious. Don't think that I am joking, or else you will end up like him. Hurry up, run forward. Su Yin berated. This madman. These people were so angry that their faces turned green. However, at the same time, they were also stunned by Su Yan's courage. He swaggered around the city and came here to rob. He did not beat around the bush and was very direct. In the ancient city, a large number of experts had gone to the Great Bloody Plains, leaving only a limited number of people to stay behind. Su Yan's massacre at the city gate had already alarmed the remaining guards in the city. Who is it? How dare you commit murder here? A person wearing a long golden robe walked out. He was a disciple of the Sky Bamboo faction and had a powerful aura. He was infinitely close to the virtual immortal realm. He glared at Su Yin and said, "Are you tired of living? Don't you know whose territory this space-time wormhole belongs to?" Boom! As soon as he finished speaking, a large golden hand rushed over. Flames surged between the 5 fingers, covering the sky and covering the earth as it attacked with rolling momentum. Oh no, it's a virtual immortal expert. The large golden hand flowed with waves of terrifying power, as if the hand of a true immortal was suppressing over, causing him to lose his composure and instantly revive the golden armor. The defensive power of this armor was extremely strong, and it could withstand several attacks from a true immortal expert. Wong. Golden divine light bloomed in the sky, and the armor spewed out brilliant immortal Tao order, blocking Su Yan's shocking palm power. Even so, he was shaken until his body trembled violently. Blood flowed out of his mouth and nose, and he fell down, smashing into a building. A strong enemy has invaded. Someone come quickly. The disciple screamed and issued a warning. Soon, it alarmed all the experts in the city. Who dares to behave atrociously here? Stop right there. The ancient city instantly fell into chaos. Many figures appeared on the streets and surrounded Su Yin. However, Su Yan's aura became stronger and stronger. He looked down on the entire city, and his eyes also emitted a cold divine light as if he was patrolling the sky. Moreover, his essence, chi, and spirit were infinitely strong, causing the entire city to tremble. Could it be a peerless virtual immortal? What is he doing? Is he going to destroy the entire city? The guards in the city turned pale with fright. Su Yan's aura was monstrous. He walked leisurely in the city, completely ignoring the Sky Bamboo lineage. His spirit and appearance were filled with a domineering aura. There's so many of us. Why are we afraid of him? Everyone attack together and block him for me. Our true immortal experts will return soon to suppress this demon. Kill, block him for me. In the ancient city, dozens of experts joined forces to attack. They were all wearing golden armor, and the moment their auras merged with the armor, it was extremely shocking. Kill! A group of people roared. Some of them activated great abilities, while others took out secret treasures. They attacked Su Yin together. The figure strolling in the city had a change in aura. His entire body was vast and mighty, and the vast aura of calamity replaced Su Yan's figure. It directly pushed open the sky. Boom! Blood light exploded, pouring down like a vast ocean. The sky was filled with a blood-colored rain of light. The calamity was arranged in order and fell layer by layer. The calamity path could evolve into the calamity path. It was extremely powerful. Once it was used, it would replace the immortal path in the area and evolve into an invincible domain. This secret art was very suitable for group battles. As Su Yin roared, the entire ancient city trembled. A group of people trembled. Their bodies were cracking and exploding. They were roared to death. The other experts wearing golden armor were horrified. What a shocking attack that killed a group of cultivators with a roar. His supernatural powers were truly heaven-defying. Boom! Layers of blood-colored waves rose from Su Yan's back. Almost instantly, they pressed forward and blasted a large group of cultivators away. Although they were all protected by their golden armor and didn't suffer fatal injuries, their hearts were completely cold. They looked at the figure closing in on them with frightened eyes. They were even more terrified. They were like a group of ants facing a primitive giant beast. They had to submit. Dong, dong, dong. Su Yan's steps were thunderous. He walked toward them with a murderous intent that could slaughter all living beings. The moment he pulled out a sword embryo, the entire city was dazzling. All the cultivators' heads were about to fall to the ground. Their skin and bones were cold. Immortal slaying sword. He's the young Devil King. All the guardians were so frightened that they almost wet their pants. They hugged their heads and fled. Who didn't know the ferocity of the young Devil King? He killed the Xian people's virtual immortals and stole the Xian people's most precious treasure, the immortal cauldron. Then, he set up a monstrous killing trap and killed hundreds of Xian people's top experts. Even a Daluo perfected immortal had fallen. The ferocity of that battle still hadn't dissipated. The people's faces changed when they talked about it. This was a ruthless person who dared to declare war on the Xian people. Young Devil King. Many people were scared out of their wits. Their teeth were chattering. He even dared to provoke the Xian people, let alone the heavenly bamboo bloodline. Slash! Su Yin let out a long roar. The golden sword embryo in his hand glowed and burst out. Ray after ray of golden sword radiance swept across the city. Boundless sword light, steaming with the aura of annihilation of the immortal Tao, instantly slashed out horizontally. Even if they were wearing golden battle armor and had astonishing defensive power, the immortal slaying sword attack was like cutting through tofu, all the way through. The ancient city was stained with blood. Heads flew everywhere. One man and one sword pushed through the city, killing one person every 10 steps. Su Yan's clothes weren't stained with blood. He killed his way to the ancient city's treasure vault. There were many guardians here. When Su Yin killed his way here, he could feel the aura of a perfected immortal spreading in the array of the treasure vault. Young Devil King, don't make a mistake. Our tribe's perfected immortal is guarding this place. Our tribe's perfected immortal is about to return to the ancient city. If you know what's good for you, scram quickly. Otherwise, you won't survive. The group of guardians was filled with fear. They stood around the array with a stern expression, but their hearts were filled with fear. They were worried that the young Devil King would start a massacre and slaughter the entire ancient city. Boom! The sound of footsteps exploded in the void. Su Yin was closing in. Just the murderous aura alone made the group of people feel cold from head to toe. It was difficult for them to fight back. Some even fell to the ground. This wasn't shameful. There were cultivators in different fields from Su Yin. If they encountered him, they would be lucky to survive. When that person came close to them, a terrifying aura spread out. Even the void was trembling. I can't take it anymore. Groups of cultivators were sent flying. They couldn't withstand the ferocious aura that was coming at them. Su Yan's body shone with boundless divine light, suppressing the entire city. No one could escape from his palm. Chi. With a slash of his sword, Su Yan directly broke the array, protecting the secret treasure vault. The moment he broke in, a perfected immortal rushed at him. Moreover, he used the immortal Tao to confine the space. He wanted to suppress Su Yan. Evil creature, you dare to come here to court death. Do you think you are invincible? This true immortal's aura was violent to the extreme. The light of the immortal Tao sprinkled down from the sky, covering the sky and the sun. It tore apart the bloody scene and suppressed Su Yan. One had to know that there were large amounts of heavenly materials and earthly treasures sealed in this place. There were even immortal medicines. If they were lost, the consequences would be unimaginable. Old man, watch out for my treasure. Su Yan waved his hand fiercely. Heaven and earth trembled. The sun and moon lost their light. A vast Qian Kuan aura was released. A shiny silver bracelet fell from the sky. It surged with boundless Qian Kuan power. In a single move, it enveloped this perfected immortal expert. Oh no, that's the Qian Kuan bracelet. This perfected immortal was shocked. He struggled with all his strength, trying to shake off the Qian Kuan bracelet. However, the more he struggled, the stronger the Qian Kuan bracelet's imprisonment became. It had already imprisoned his physical body. Moreover, there was a terrifying Qian Kuan order that sealed his strength, making it difficult for him to resist. So what if you were a perfected immortal? You dare to threaten me? See if I don't slap you. Su Yan directly lifted him up and slapped him left and right. One slap after another landed on his old face. The sound of the slaps was earth-shattering. Today's small explosion. Chapter 3. Brothers Seeking Monthly Votes. Chapter 1483. This perfected immortal was extremely aggrieved. Although he had just stepped into the perfected immortal realm a few days ago, he had already become an elder of an immortal sect, enough to dominate a region. But now, a young man was slapping him left and right, causing him to scream in grief. His entire body was glowing, and the immortal path's secret energy was circulating, trying to shake off the heaven and earth bracelet. Clang! Clang! The silver bracelet clanged, and a terrifying secret energy kept flowing out, imprisoning the perfected immortal. The heaven and earth bracelet was a rare treasure of the Xian people. It was made with a small amount of heaven and earth stone, and its power was shocking. It was of great help to Su Yan. Ordinary perfected immortals would not be able to escape if they were suppressed. What are you so proud of? I just wanted to see if your clan's treasure vault had any of my lost treasures. But you attacked me directly. You're too unreasonable. Su Yan scolded without mercy. He waved his hand again, slapping him again and again. The perfected immortal was so angry that his hair stood on end. He let out a roar of grief and indignation. He wanted to find a piece of tofu and kill himself. A dignified, perfected immortal was hung up and beaten without any room to fight back. Boom! He was about to go crazy. He released all his aura and suppressed the heaven and earth bracelet until it trembled. It seemed like it could not be suppressed and was about to be sent flying. Su Yan was surprised. It seemed that the heaven and earth bracelet was not omnipotent. No matter how strong it was still an immortal path treasure. In terms of quality, it still needed to be tempered to greatly increase its power. Boom! Su Yan punched him in the chest, causing his chest to collapse. His life force was greatly damaged, and his perfected immortal body was about to collapse. Open the door to the treasure vault immediately, or I'll make sure you die without a complete corpse. Su Yan shouted coldly, his eyes filled with killing intent. Brat, you dare to challenge the authority of the Sky Bamboo? You won't have a good ending. His eyes were red as he said angrily, Don't make a mistake. This is an important place in my clan. If you really steal my clan's treasure vault, no one will be able to protect you. There will be no place for you in the 10,000 tribes battlefield. Bang! Su Yan kicked him and sent him crashing into the door of the treasury. blood splattered everywhere, and all the bones in his body were broken. He cried out miserably, in so much pain that he wished he was dead. However, he still said unyieldingly, "Young Devil King, you won't be able to open the treasury. My race's experts will be here soon. I want to see just how you plan to open this space-time wormhole. The entire region is filled with my race's experts." Before he could finish his words, Su Yin lifted his foot and stomped down on his body. The power contained in this stomp was too ferocious, directly crushing the body of the true immortal, tearing his body into pieces. Su Yan's eyes focused on the door of the treasury. If he wanted to open the door, he needed the key of the sky bamboo branch. However, Zhu Yinli did not have the key. Su Yin pondered for a while and finally decided to force open the secret vault. Bad news. Bad news. In the Scarlet Plains, a fierce battle raged on. 3 void immortals were fighting, and it was hard to determine a victor in a short time. Currently, the passage to the Grotto Heaven world opened by the Sky Bamboo progenitor had not fully formed yet. A group of elders waited anxiously. In fact, to some people, no matter who obtained the great opportunity in the end, it would have a great impact on their race. This was a great opportunity left behind by the progenitor. Perhaps, in the future, the Sky Bamboo branch could produce an expert that could dominate the top 10 of the monarch ranking. In the past, during the Sky Bamboo branch's glorious era, there were such monstrous geniuses. They were all the progenitor's disciples and grand-disciples. Although the Sky Bamboo branch could not compare to the progenitor's glorious era, if they really obtained the great opportunity left behind by the progenitor, they might be able to walk away. Ingjie, who dominated the top 10 of the monarch ranking. "What's the matter? Why are you so flustered?" A black-robed, true immortal expert came forward and suppressed the flustered city guard. He frowned and said, "Speak slowly. What happened?" "A void immortal has come to the ancient city and wants to challenge our race's void immortal." "Which race's void immortal is he from?" "Go back and tell him to wait. Our Zhu Songhua still has something important to do. We don't have time to fight him now." The black-robed true immortal was very confident. So what if it was a void immortal from a top sect? Their Sky Bamboo branch was not afraid. "Elder, this person is too arrogant. He said that if we can't wait until Zhu Songhua arrives, he will attack our treasury." The messenger said in a trembling voice, "I think you should go and see for yourself. He killed someone, a powerhouse guarding the city." "What?" Blood was seen. This instantly angered a group of true immortal experts. They were all furious. An old man with a fiery temper stepped forward and said coldly, "How dare he? Does he think he's a young demon king? He wants to attack our treasury? He must be tired of living." Preposterous. Even if what he said was a joke, this old man will still make him pay the price. There's nothing to say. You guys go and suppress him. Don't worry about his background. Our race is not to be trifled with. 10 true immortal experts had gathered at the Great Crimson Plains. 4 of them stepped forward and rushed toward the ancient city. Although the primogenitor's fortune land was important, there were many rare treasures in the ancient city's treasury. They cannot afford to lose it. It's almost done. At this time, the other 6 true immortals' eyes were burning as they stared at the space-time vortex that was gradually forming a passage. The vast Sky Bamboo scripture continued to shine, forming a scripture passage that gradually formed a green passage. Although the passage had not yet formed, it already had a supreme aura that transcended the past, present, and future. It crushed down along the river of time, causing the Sky Bamboo experts to breathe heavily. There were even some people who couldn't control themselves and were about to prostrate themselves in worship. It really is the primogenitor's fortune land. The 6 true immortals shouted excitedly, "The heavens have blessed our race. Fortune has descended in this golden age. Our race's time of glory is coming." Everyone was excited. Then, their expressions became incomparably pious because they had seen the primogenitor's heavenly might. It was as if he was still in the mortal world. This caused the Sky Bamboo clansmen gathered here to kowtow seriously. "I've waited for this day for too long. Suddenly, Zhu Yanghua's aura skyrocketed. His entire body glowed, and the sky bamboo behind him emitted an aura that could overturn the heavens, suppressing the entire space-time. Not good, let's go. Zhu Jiuyang's expression changed drastically. He sensed a fatal threat sweeping over and was about to suppress them. There's still a chance. Zhu Yao's eyes widened in anger. How could she be willing to give up like this? She took out a purple gold gourd. The moment it erupted, purple light surged. A stream of air surged out of the gourd's mouth, as if a zenith heaven true immortal was howling. It was terrifying beyond compare. This was a powerful treasure that shocked Su Yin, who was watching the battle nearby. This gourd must be a treasure refined by a zenith heaven true immortal. The stream of air that erupted from the gourd's mouth contained a divine might that could sweep through the heavens. Suppress. Zhu Yao pushed the purple gold gourd and pressed down on Zhu Yanghua in an overwhelming manner. You're courting death. Zhu Yanghua's eyes shone with a cold light. The sky bamboo behind him that was rooted in the void swayed and was about to break free from space-time. This is, in the passage, the giant bamboo that was engraved with the complete sky bamboo scripture had a drastic change in expression. He saw that the sky bamboo's root had completely changed. It had an ancient aura that transcended the long river of time. It was magnificent and exuded a hazy radiance that suppressed the entire space-time. Suddenly, no matter how strong the purple gold gourd was, it began to tremble in the face of the sky bamboo's ancient heavenly might. Even the entire gourd was about to explode. How is this possible? Zhu Yao lost control. This was a rare treasure refined by a zenith heaven true immortal. Yet it couldn't stop Zhu Yanghua. She even had the urge to bow down and worship Zhu Yanghua. What kind of treasure is this? Su Yan's eyes turned red. With the eye of heaven escape, he could see that there was a thumb-sized jade-green root on the sky bamboo's root. It emitted a powerful fluctuation that could shake one's soul. Su Yan, this is the root of my clan's progenitor. The giant bamboo's angry roar exploded in Su Yan's ears. Even if our progenitor died in battle, he could use the root to revive. I suspect that there's a traitor in our clan who harmed our progenitor. In the future, you must think of a way to take away this root. Otherwise, the Zhu Yanghua in the future will be unimaginably powerful. What? The sky bamboo's progenitor's root. Su Yan was a little scared. What kind of heaven-defying opportunity was this? This Zhu Yanghua had hidden it very well. Now that it was using its strongest trump card, even the powerful purple gold gourd couldn't withstand it and was about to collapse. Su Yan, get ready. It's about to begin. At this moment, the giant bamboo's powerful voice exploded in his ears. The entire great blood plain was filled with the chanting of scriptures. Thousands of clansmen were facing the green passage and bowing devoutly. They were getting more and more excited. Once they obtained the fortune left behind by their progenitor, the sky bamboo's lineage would definitely nurture the peerless Ingjia, who was ranked in the top 10 of the monarch ranking. He would lead their clan to the peak. Boom! At this moment, the giant green passage was completely stabilized. It was constructed with complicated scriptures, leading to a powerful space-time. If you don't leave now, you will all die. Zhu Yanghua's eyes were filled with murderous intent. Now that the progenitor's passage was completed, it was time to harvest the fortune. Suddenly, layers of killing formations appeared at the place where the three hollow immortals were fighting. They triggered the momentum of heaven and earth, forming a monstrous killing space. This was a pinnacle killing formation that Su Yan had created by stealing hundreds of sharp cave dwellings and harvesting the origin energy. It had been directly unleashed by him and was suppressing the bamboo sunflower. You are forcing me to kill. Zhu Yanghua was furious. He didn't know that this was Su Yan's trap. Zhu Yao thought that it was Zhu Jiuyang who did it, and Zhu Jiuyang also thought that it was Zhu Yao who did it. In short, Zhu Yanghua was completely enraged. He felt that he had to at least severely injure them. Xia Kunlun, what are you doing here? Get lost now. However, in front of the huge green tunnel, There was a man in black armor walking towards the tunnel with large strides. Get lost now. Feng Rong's face was gloomy. This was the sacred place of the sky bamboo lineage. He was the only outer disciple guarding the passage. The other elders and clansmen were all worshipping the passage. Capture and kill him. One of the elders spoke. He didn't want to start a massacre at the place where their progenitor died. However, Feng Rong was different. He wasn't a member of the sky bamboo lineage. If he started a massacre, it wouldn't be a blasphemy. All right. Feng Rong laughed sinisterly as he waved his fist and charged toward Su Yin. Boom! Su Yin strode forward. His aura changed completely. He also swung his fist, but his aura was so terrifying that even the sky collapsed. Fourth watch. Please vote. Chapter 1484. How powerful was Su Yin? Once he unleashed his power, heaven and earth would change. His fist aura surged like a comet across the sky. It contained a world-destroying battle prowess. Just like this, the vast blood-colored plane was pushed back by his fist aura, causing loud, rumbling noises. Impossible. Feng Rong's expression changed drastically. Even someone as powerful as him was trembling and suffocating. He felt like his body was about to explode. He was terrified. This was Xia Kunlun. This was an outer sect disciple of the sky bamboo lineage. He felt like he was facing a supreme overlord. He immediately unleashed his power and punched Feng Rong. To think that Xia Kunlun has such combat strength. From this moment on, the members of the sky bamboo lineage who were devoutly worshipping the ancestral land were shocked. Xia Kunlun's power shocked them. At the same time, they had a bad feeling about this. What was Zhu Yao planning? Did she really want to suppress Zhu Yanhua and become the saint of the tribe? Of course, they would never think that Xia Kunlun was the young devil king. Now, the three void immortals who were fighting were covered by a peak killing formation. The killing formation that Su Yin had stolen from hundreds of grotto heavens triggered the layout of heaven and earth and formed an energy field on its own. Even a true immortal would find it difficult to see what was happening inside. Feng Rong roared into the sky. His aura erupted to the limit like lightning. Even his body was burning. Even the golden armor that covered his body was revived. His aura was exceptionally powerful. He went all out. He could feel the killing intent to kill all living beings. Xia Kunlun definitely wanted to kill him. This caused Feng Rong to be extremely terrified. He unleashed his strongest fighting strength in an attempt to block Su Yin. Boom! Su Yin's fist aura expanded. His aura became even more terrifying. He directly unleashed his strongest power and tore through the void. The instant the invincible fist aura spread, it broke through all of Feng Rong's abhijna and landed squarely on his chest. Puffed! Feng Rong screamed. He was sent flying like a dead dog. He spat out mouthfuls of blood. He was in so much pain that he wanted to die. He was the #1 expert of the sky bamboo lineage's outer sect. But now, when he encountered Xia Kunlun, he could not even withstand a single blow. He had been suppressed by a bloody aura. If not for the golden armor protecting him, his body would have exploded. Damn it! Feng Rong let out an angry roar and roared at the nearby experts who were still in a daze. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and suppress him. Quick, attack together. Zhu Yao is ambitious. She has been hiding Xia Kunlun's combat strength. What does she want? Do you really want to replace Zhu Yanghua? We can't do anything about that, but there's no way Xia Kunlun is a rogue cultivator. He's definitely someone Zhu Yao invited. How could the position of Holy Child be affected by other factors? Zhu Yao violated a taboo, so we're going to put Xia Kunlun in prison. If anything happens, I'll take responsibility. In the blink of an eye, dozens of young experts took the lead and stood out. They had a very good relationship with Zhu Yanghua and naturally hoped that Zhu Yanghua would take over the family in the future. They would also benefit from it. Xia Kunlun, get out of here. This is the place where our sky bamboo lineage's progenitor fell. All of you scram. Dozens of experts pounced. Among them were several half-step true immortals. They joined forces to suppress Su Yin. Originally, The experts under Zhu Yao wanted to help Xia Kunlun block them and take control of the passageway entrance. They wanted to fight for a spot for Zhu Yao to enter the passageway. But who knew that a bloody incident would ensue? Scram! Su Yan roared. His posture was too wild. His chi and blood were golden, and he looked majestic. He did not look like a holy child at all. The outer sect was like the clan's holy child who went berserk. Along the way, when facing dozens of people who tried to stop him, he roared and fought with his tongue like thunder. Boom! Golden ripples spread out from Su Yan's mouth and nose. His roar was like heavenly thunder. The instant he descended, the bodies of the experts closest to Su Yan were crushed by his roar and exploded. Blood splattered all over the sky and splattered on the faces of the people who were charging towards Su Yan. They were so stunned that they trembled and fell to the ground. Crazy! Feng Rong was frightened. He stammered and did not know what to say. Su Yan let out a loud roar, shattering the 6 experts. Even the rest were severely injured and were sent flying. The true immortals were enraged. They pointed at Su Yan with trembling fingers. They were so angry that their hearts and lungs were trembling. This was because the experts who were killed by Xia Kunlun's roar were all core members of the Sky Bamboo lineage. There were even a few legacy disciples among them. Be Astra starred. He's rebelling. Kill him. Kill him. The true immortals were furious. They joined forces to kill Xia Kunlun. Although Xia Kunlun was strong enough, he was still an outer sect disciple. Now that he dared to kill the disciples of his own clan, it was like a slave bullying his master. No matter how strong he was, he had to be suppressed. At the same time, in the ancient city area, which was not too far away from the Great Scarlet Plains, killing intent filled the sky. It was even more intense and frightening than the killing intent from the Great Scarlet Plains. More and more messaging talismans appeared one after another, exploding in the sky. The impact was huge, causing the expressions of the true immortals on the Great Blood Plains to change greatly. Could it be that something unexpected happened in the ancient city? Otherwise, why would there be messaging talismans? Let's go and see what happened. Xia Kunlun is nothing. I'll leave it to you. The 2 true immortals instantly headed toward their destination. The ancient city was important and could not be lost. There were also large amounts of resources in the ancient city. If something happened, they would be blamed. The experts who had gathered in the ancient city had gone crazy. The treasury had been stolen. Not even a strand of hair was left. Large amounts of rare treasures had been lost. Even 2 immortal herbs had been lost. Fortunately, a few immortal herbs had been taken away by Zhu Juyang and the others. Otherwise, the losses of the Sky Bamboo lineage would be unimaginable. Evil creature. Everyone in the Great Scarlet Plains was stunned. They saw Su Yan approach the passageway, as if he wanted to step into it. This was the primogenitor's land of fortune. Who gave Xia Kunlun the guts to step into this land of fortune? Who gave him the courage? This lunatic. A true immortal was so angry that he laughed. How can an outsider trespass into the land of fortune of our clan? Xia Kunlun, I think you really are crazy. If I don't skin you alive, I won't be able to wash away this sin. The huge green passageway was filled with a grand and ancient aura. It was grand and peerless. Now, Su Yan was standing at the bottom of the passageway. He reached out and pulled Bamboo Moon out of the secret palace of time and sent her into the silver passageway. Bamboo Moon's emotions were fluctuating. She did not want to be separated from Su Yan. Her eyes were red as she looked at Su Yan with tears in her eyes. She did not say a word. Go. Su Yan revealed a brilliant smile. Seize everything. This opportunity did not come easily. Go in peace. Don't leave any regrets. The green passageway shone with a powerful devouring force. It was receiving Bamboo Moon. It was as if the Sky Bamboo ancestral land was summoning her. Bamboo Moon could not control herself and wanted to fly into the silver passageway. In the passageway, this scene left everyone in the Blood Great Plains stupefied. Great changes occurred one after another. No one expected an exceptional beauty to appear and trigger the guidance of the green passageway. Who exactly was this person? Quick, Stop him. Almost everyone shouted. The ancestral creation had to be obtained by Zhu Yonghua. Even if it was Zhu Yao, it could not fall into the hands of an unknown person. Kill him. This guy has wild ambitions. He must have a great motive for sneaking into our race. Don't kill him. Suppress him and find out where he came from. In the vast, great scarlet plains, killing intent spewed out. Too many cultivators charged over. Along with true immortals, one after another, they were charging toward Su Yan. Before they arrived, the terrifying energy tide had already flooded the entire space-time. A shocking, crushing force descended from the sky and was about to drown Su Yan. Roar! Su Yan's black hair danced in the wind. His eyes were filled with killing intent. He was like a shackled fiend god that had torn apart the seal. He, who was in the state of human Tao as one, had completely erupted. Hollow immortal! He's a hollow immortal. How is this possible? The large group of people charging over screamed in fear, their hearts filled with disbelief. Soon after, Su Yan's aura madly rose. His blood vitality was golden, and his immortal substance was exuberant. It illuminated the starry skies of the universe, as if an invincible human sovereign had returned. He emitted a combat strength that could shake the heavens and earth and make ghosts and gods weep. Who? In front of them, dozens of beams of bloody light sputtered out. The first batch that rushed over had their bodies crushed to pieces, blown apart by Su Yan's aura. Wait for me to come back. Bamboo Moon's cheeks flashed with heartache as she looked at Su Yan, who was fighting for her, although she really wanted to go over and stand together with Su Yan. However, she knew very well that this opportunity was won by Su Yan at the risk of his life. She had to leave. Bamboo Moon's figure disappeared into the silver passage. Even the silver passageway was beginning to distort and slowly enter a closed state. The process could not be considered fast. Oh no, the passage is closing. Bastard. Kill him. Kill him. Faster, faster. The entire world was filled with screams. All the experts of Sky Bamboo had gone crazy, their emotions exploding. Su Yan was like a wall of gods and demons. He stood at the forefront and looked down at everyone. His posture was too domineering as he overlooked the entire place. No matter how terrifying the storm was, Su Yan was not afraid at all. Kill! The group of experts joined forces and attacked together. This movement shook the heavens and earth. A wave of energy that was more turbulent than the ocean rushed over, emitting an aura that could suppress the entire space-time. They did not believe that Su Yan could stop their charge. It's been a long time since I last fought. Su Yan's blood was boiling. Ever since he came to the undying heavenly domain, he had not fought with his life on the line. Now, he had gone berserk. Waves of bloody storms emerged from his body one after another, threatening to overturn the entire Scarlet Plains. Kill! Su Yan roared and unleashed a shocking secret technique. It was as though his body was in a sea of blood. His hands pushed the boundless blood-colored energy, as though he was controlling lightning from the heavens, as he charged towards the large group of experts. Su Yan's aura was too shocking. It caused the space-time wormhole to be submerged. His figure was about to enter the space-time wormhole and dominate one of the strongest seats. Chapter 1485. On the Great Scarlet Plain, the energy fluctuations were vast, shaking the heavens and the earth. It was as if the galaxy was collapsing, shocking one's soul. Boom! In the dark red world, rolling blood-red light rose from the ground and shattered the sky. It was too shocking, as if it had replaced the heavens and created a blood-red purgatory. The aura of calamity that covered the land swept across the mountains and rivers. Oh my God, what happened there? In the distant world, a large number of creatures were shocked. They saw the source of the blood-red light that covered the sun. It seemed to have replaced the immortal Tao, turning this world into a calamity universe. It was filled with an unparalleled aura. Kill! A deep voice appeared, causing the blood-red world to spin. The momentum became more and more spectacular. It was as if a Cheelant's roar had shattered the earth and scattered down shocking murderous aura. What kind of divine power is this? It actually silenced my great Tao and suppressed it. Everyone trembled, and their souls were under terrifying pressure. Even in the blood-red world that filled the starry sky, a figure appeared. It was like a supreme god that controlled the heavens, making them feel like their guts were about to explode. The Path of Calamity was a supreme divine power that evolved after the Xianhuang universe came back from the dead. Once it was released, it could dominate the universe. In the world ruled by the Path of Calamity, even the immortal Tao seemed to be blinded. Boom! In the blood-red world, blood-red great Tao whistled out one after another, descending from the sky, rushing into a large number of people and launching a fatal attack. Boom! The entire great scarlet plain rumbled violently. Thousands of blood-red great Tao pressed down, and the blood-red light filled the sky. It was as if thousands of blood-red evil dragons had broken out of the cage, killing the creatures below. A large number of cultivators screamed, and their bodies exploded. They could not withstand the power of the Path of Calamity. They turned into blood-red light and dissipated between heaven and earth. Kill him for me. There were also true immortals who let out furious roars. They joined forces with a group of experts and opened up layers of the blood-red world. They wanted to use their strongest combat power to kill Su Yin. Come on, I also want to see how strong my limits are. Su Yin let out a long roar. The entire blood-red world collapsed, drowning the vast Qian Kuan world as it carried out a bloody massacre on everyone present. There was only one word in his heart: kill. He had to slaughter out a path of blood and resist the army. He had to persist until the blue channel closed. He would not allow anyone to approach the place where the sky bamboo progenitor had fallen. Pooh! Large amounts of cultivators' bodies were torn apart, releasing bloody light. It was incomparably miserable. Bastard, hurry up and stop him. A true immortal roared out. Too many people had died. Su Yin suppressed the entire battlefield, slaughtering large amounts of clansmen. If they still couldn't stop him, their losses would be extremely disastrous. Buzz! In an instant, the 4 true immortals who occupied this place released powerful battle prowess. Even the golden battle armor they wore was awakened. Heaven overflowing immortal Tao order flowed out, rising from the ground layer after layer, suppressing the blood-colored world that was pressing down. For a short period of time, they held on, resisting the continuous suppression of the blood-colored world. Give me your life. A true immortal closed in and waved his fist, punching towards Su Yan's head. Su Yan stood in the blood-colored world. His cold eyes shone with divine light as he stared at the charging true immortal. Without any hesitation, he directly unleashed the 9 heavens flame fan. Rolling heavenly flames rained down. The temperature was extremely high, burning the world until it was pitch black like ink. The scene of raging flames burning the heavens gave the true immortal who was charging towards Su Yin a fright. His protective divine light was blasted apart by the flames. Oh no, he cried out. He tried to use his great supernatural power to stop it, but it was useless. Su Yin kept fanning the fan, unleashing heavenly flames one after another, burning the true immortal. The true immortal cried out in pain. The golden battle armor he wore was starting to melt from the heat. Even though his immortal Tao realm battle prowess was shocking, it was still extremely difficult for him to extinguish the heavenly flames. Unfortunately, Su Yin didn't have the time to kill this true immortal. There were too many people charging at him. Su Yin kept waving the 9 heavens flame fan. He had to admit that the might of this treasure was insane. Even true immortals avoided it like snakes and scorpions. Cultivators below the true immortal realm were almost melted into ashes in an instant. However, this treasure had a drawback. It required an extremely powerful force to support it. Su Yin didn't have that either. He might be able to unleash the 9 heavens flame fan continuously. Little B asterisk starred, you're just a void immortal. How dare you resist my army? Let's see how long you can live. Zhu Liang's tone was low. There was still some time before the green passage closed. they still had a chance. As for the peak formation trapping the three Void Immortals, it was already starting to distort violently. The three Void Immortals were about to break out of the formation. They had already seen what was happening outside, and were furious. Who would have thought that someone had been eyeing the land of creation all this while, and would even attack in such a violent manner? In the blood-colored world, burning with raging flames, the sound of wind and thunder from the nine heavens suddenly erupted. Zhu Liangkai summoned an immortal Tao Supreme Treasure. The instant the wind and thunder flag danced, the heavenly winds and thick lightning descended from the sky. Boom! The blood-colored world was pierced through. The rolling storm swept away a large amount of heavenly flames. Kill him. Zhu Yangcai's aura was strong. He wielded the wind and thunder flag and suppressed Su Yin from all directions. Kill him. Kill him. He's only one person. Kill him. Kill him. Although the Sky Bamboo Army had suffered heavy casualties in the Great Crimson Plains, there were still more than 1,000 cultivators gathered here. Now that there was an immortal Tao Supreme Treasure leading the way, the situation was completely different. The sky was filled with waves of energy, all kinds of divine weapons, and immortal Tao laws. They all rushed towards Su Yin to suppress him. It was a scene of heaven and earth collapsing. It was very difficult for Su Yin to stand on his feet. Boom! In an instant, Su Yin stepped into the sky. He spread his arms and roared at the sky, his aura surging like a bull. When a pair of heavenly eyes opened, he looked down on the universe. A terrifying aura was released. The sea of stars in the sky was vast and mighty, and the great crimson plains trembled. His figure grew by a large margin. It was as if he had become one with time and space. His hands were boundless and pushed the world forward. The entire world rose and fell with him. Between heaven and earth, the nine heavens and the Milky Way landed. The dragons of the earth drilled out. The world's layout was revived in the intersection and released the power of divine escape. This was Su Yan's unique combat strength. He controlled the universe and evolved the power of divine escape. It was as if he was moving the entire world, and it was suffused with an ancient and vast divine might as it charged towards the crowd below and started to suppress them. A grandmaster of divine escape. Everyone was shocked. Xia Kunlun was actually a grandmaster of divine escape. It was to the extent that as heaven and earth pressed down, the bodies of the cultivators trembled one after another, as if they were about to explode. They were endlessly terrified. This wasn't an ordinary grandmaster of the occult arts. He had revived this entire world, and it was as if he controlled the entire world. Su Yan's hands formed the Dragon Tiger escape art. His aura reached the rainbow and surged with the power to split the sky and split the sea. Who was this person? He was simply a powerful cultivator with remarkable abilities. He unleashed a boundless storm of divine energy that swept across the heavens and earth, swallowing up the heavens. What a shocking energy storm. What's happening? Look, there's a space-time wormhole. The energy fluctuation is extremely violent. Is there a huge battle? Outside the battlefield, some experts with extraordinary means noticed the shocking change in a space-time wormhole on the heavenly path. The aura of battle was too terrifying. It penetrated the space-time wormhole and steamed with terrifying airflow. Ancestor, it's the space-time wormhole that our clan occupied. The Sky Bamboo lineage also noticed the changes here through the heavenly path. Someone said excitedly, "Could it be that the primogenitor's place of death has opened? That's why the scene of essence, chi penetrating the heavens, is happening?" It's possible. Two great ancestors of the Sky Bamboo lineage came. One of them nodded and smiled. The primogenitor is a great existence. Once his place of creation appears, it's incredible. Although it's a bit big, we have many experts. Even if there's a strong enemy attacking, we're not afraid. That's right. The other ancestor nodded and said, "I think it's better to use the space-time treasure to observe. Let's see how far it's progressed." Haha. Although Zhu Yao is strong, she's not Jianhua's opponent. I think Zhu Yanghua has entered the primogenitor's place of death. As for whether Zhu Yao has the ability to enter, it's up to her. Our clan has already helped her a lot. If we give more, it's unfair to Zhu Yanghua. At this point, the Sky Bamboo lineage was no longer worried about their plan being leaked. Even if the other sects knew about it and wanted to fight for it, it was too late. Moreover, only their lineage had the right to obtain the creation left behind by the primogenitor. Boom! Su Yin used the Dragon Tiger Divine Escape Technique with both hands. The 3 escape techniques were released, and the heavenly eye opened. The moment the 4 escape techniques were released, the aura was earth-shattering. At this moment, Su Yin had an unparalleled ferocious aura that could sweep through the entire battlefield. Bastard, charge and kill him. Zhu Liangkai roared. They had more than 1,000 people. Now that he was alone, it was the biggest joke. All of a sudden, the aura of the Scarlet Plane changed. The super battle formation gathered the power of thousands of soldiers and rushed towards Su Yin. Boom! It was a shocking scene. The energy storm that was born in the Scarlet Plane could destroy the world. There was an earth-shattering sound of collision. Su Yin gathered the power of heaven and earth and suppressed it. The force of thousands of soldiers collapsed, and a large number of clansmen were crushed alive. However, the equally powerful power of the battle array tore apart the seal of the power of the world. Su Yan's body trembled violently after one clash, and blood spurted out of his pores. His body was almost blown away. Although Su Yin was strengthened by the power of heaven and earth, he was facing too many enemies. Even someone as strong as Su Yin couldn't suppress them all with the most domineering means. Kill! Bloody light surged. On the dilapidated Scarlet Plane, killing intent was boiling like an ocean. A large number of overlords rushed over. It should be noted that there were 4 perfected immortals there. Although one of them was severely injured, his combat power was still there. Besides, there were also many young elites of the Sky Bamboo branch. The moment they attacked together, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. There was no place for Su Yin to stand. You're dead. Hideous laughter came. Many people looked at Su Yin coldly, as if they were looking at a dead man. They really did not believe that Su Yin, who had already been injured, would be able to block their combined attack. As long as they could kill Su Yin, the passageway would still be under their control. I don't care who you are. You're going to die anyway. The woman you sent will die more miserably than you, said a perfected immortal, which completely infuriated Su Yin. His eyes were wide open and his blood surged. He was about to tear the sky apart. Suddenly, a terrifying aura filled the air, suppressing all life in the universe. In an instant, the sky exploded. Boundless chi and blood burned. It was as if a disappeared emperor had returned. It was a dazzling golden figure that crossed over and rushed into the crowd. Boom! He attacked. He was too decisive and brave as he attacked this perfected immortal. Even if he was a perfected immortal and had a golden armor protecting his body, Su Yan's incarnation in the indestructible body state emitted an unparalleled aura that dominated the sky. Kill! With a loud roar, he shook the stars. Those with lower cultivation levels had their eardrums shattered and bleeding from their 7 orifices. There were already groups of cultivators nearby who were sent flying. They couldn't trap this dazzling golden figure at all. His aura was too shocking, wild, and domineering. He directly attacked like a peerless general, invincible under the heavens. In a short period of time, this perfected immortal was trembling. The golden armor on his body was cracking. Indestructible body. Everyone was terrified. This was a supreme, precious body. Xia Kunlun actually had helpers, and they were even peerless experts from the indestructible race. However, in the next moment, what left them horrified was that in a distant world, a resplendent killing sword appeared. The sword was sharp, cutting off a large number of heads. A silver heaven and earth bracelet was tossed out, striking towards another perfected immortal expert, young Devil King. Zhu Yansai's expression changed greatly. What exactly was going on? Even the young Devil King had come. Who exactly was Xia Kunlun? He could even summon the young Devil King. There was even an indestructible body. These were three great void immortals working together. This was a shocking scene. They were currently sweeping through the entire Blood Great Plains. Three great void immortals working together was enough to sweep through an area. With great boldness, they carried out a bloody suppression towards all the people. Those who block me will die. The three's black hair danced in the wind. Their expressions were cold as they swept through the battlefield. Each of them surged with chi and blood. The aura they released pierced through the space-time wormhole. Vaguely, they began to outline three great world-shocking majestic figures. Dejan. Chapter 1486. The entire Scarlet Plains was in an uproar, making everyone tremble in fear. So what if there were four perfected immortals? Their faces turned green in the face of such a powerful combination. Whether it was the young Devil King, the indestructible body, or even an occult sect master, they were all top void immortals. But the three young villains had joined forces and swept through the entire Scarlet Plains. This was a complete suppression. When Su Yin released his strongest combat power, under the Chi 3 Pure One state, his power exceeded everyone's expectations. His first incarnation wielded the heaven-opening writing brush. His second incarnation wielded the indestructible body. And his third incarnation wielded the immortal slaying sword. Boom! The three burst out and swept through the battlefield. The Scarlet Plains trembled, and a large number of clansmen exploded, turning into bloody light. These were three top void immortals. Who could match them? The entire battlefield had to crawl under their feet. The three of them were majestic, their hair flying in the wind, emitting overwhelming combat power. Su Xianren burst out. In this short period of time, blood rain poured, energy storms tore, and dense bloody light rose from the plains. The scene was terrifying, and it had already alarmed the experts in the distant worlds. Even the space-time worms were dyed red by blood. How many people had died? Only then could the scene of bloody light shoot into the sky. What kind of bloody battle happened in that space-time wormhole? Many people must have died, and the space-time wormhole is dyed red with blood. Could it be a bloody battle between the immortal sects, fighting for supremacy over the supreme land of creation? From this moment on, the expressions of the powerful cultivators at the entrances of the 10,000 races battlefield changed. They all used their space-time secret treasures to see the scene in the blood-stained space-time wormhole. After all, half a month had passed since the bloody day, and the space-time wormholes had calmed down. There were rarely large-scale bloody battles, but a shocking battle had broken out in the resource mystic realm under Sky Bamboo's jurisdiction. The young Devil King. In Green Mountain Continent, the big shots of Sky Bamboo were entrenched. Several patriarchs and a large number of perfected immortals were so angry that their hearts were trembling. They couldn't believe that a tragedy had happened in their precious land, and a large number of clansmen were dying in battle. Bastard! The patriarchs roared, and their auras shook heaven and earth, causing the entire Green Mountain Continent to tremble. The perfected immortals were furious. What had happened? The three young Devil Kings were working together to wipe out the experts of Sky Bamboo's resource mystic realm. They seriously suspected that the primogenitor's fortune lands had undergone a great change, and that someone was plotting to take it away. Although the space-time secret treasure allowed them to see the bloody battle on the Great Blood Plains, they couldn't see the whole picture. The entire Sky Bamboo branch's upper echelons were in an uproar. Just what had happened? Even the young Devil King had joined in. Wielding the Zhu Xian sword and the Heaven and Earth bracelet, could he be the young Devil King? One after another, the entrances to the battlefield were in an uproar. There was no one who didn't know of the infamous young Devil King. If not for his low cultivation base, he would have been a fugitive in the undying celestial domain. Young the Devil King. The immortals of the immortals were treasures of their treasures. They were all rare treasures of their race, but now they were in the young Devil King's hands. His fighting strength could be said to be terrifying. The Xian people's patriarch was furious. He said in a cruel voice, This bastard dares to come to the 10,000 tribes battlefield and even cause such a big commotion. If we don't kill him, how can we still have face? The experts of the Xian people were enraged. One by one, the patriarchs were enraged. A few days ago, the Xian people had been tricked by the young Devil King. Two of their duo true immortals had died in battle, and the young false immortals had been killed by him. Even the most precious treasure of the 9 Pinnacles Mountain, the immortal cauldron, had been stolen by him. This was a huge blow to the Xian people. Although Yin Emperor had joined the battle in the end, the instigator was still the young Devil King. He was a young man who dared to declare war on the Xian people. The Xian people couldn't wait to cut him into pieces. Pass down the order immediately. Tell our Overlord to capture the young Devil King, dead or alive. Also, go to the Immortal Clan and ask them what's going on. Why is the Immortal Clan with the young Devil King? And Patriarch roared and passed down the highest order. He hoped that the young overlords of the clan would cross the path to heaven and capture the young Devil King. Is it the immortal body? But he's not an expert of our clan. Who is he? The blood-stained space-time wormhole had alerted many forces to investigate. This had also alerted an ancient clan. The big shots of the immortal clan were shocked. Although the images reflected by the space-time treasure were a little blurry, they could still see that the golden figure was definitely the immortal body. The immortal body was exclusive to their clan. Now, a young man of unknown origin had cultivated the immortal body. This was too big of a matter. Could he be an abandoned clansman? Or could it be that he had cultivated the immortal body through external factors? No matter what, this matter was extremely important to the immortal clan. Now, the battle on the Great Crimson Plain was intense. 3 young false immortals had joined forces and attacked the experts of the Heavenly Bamboo Clan. They seemed to be suppressing the entire battlefield. Kill! Suddenly, an army filled the sky in the distant world. Blood essence surged. Tens of thousands of elite soldiers charged over. Their essence, chi, and spirit were so dense that they were about to merge together and form a bloody storm that could destroy heaven and earth. It rumbled and surged toward their destination. They're here. Suyan's expression changed slightly. The Heavenly Bamboo Clan's army had finally arrived. The commotion was too great. There were armies passing through from all directions, and their auras were getting more and more terrifying. There were even true immortal auras leaking out from the army. There were at least a dozen true immortals charging over. This was a shocking lineup. However, the space-time passage opened by the Heavenly Bamboo Clan's ancestor was about to be completely closed. This had completely angered the experts of the Heavenly Bamboo Clan. The troops from the distant world were charging over in a frenzy. They wanted to break the situation of the 3 peak false immortals suppressing the battlefield. Boom! Suddenly, 3 terrifying waves were released. They rose from the ground with extreme speed and tore the sky apart. Xia Kunlun, hand over your life. Zhu Yao let out a shrill and angry cry. She wielded the purple gold gourd and charged towards Xia Kunlun. The gourd emitted boundless light, and the airflow from the gourd's mouth was about to pierce through heaven and earth. This was a great humiliation. Who would have thought that Xia Kunlun was a spy with such great ambitions? He had even gathered the young Devil King in an indestructible body. Who was the young Devil King? Zhu Yao would never forget him. However, Xia Kunlun had joined forces with the young Devil King. This was a slap to the entire Heavenly Bamboo Clan's face. What dignity did the Heavenly Bamboo Clan have left? Come die. Zhu Jiuyong also erupted. His body recovered to its peak state. 9 suns filled the sky, releasing the power of the heavens as they charged toward the indestructible body. The young Devil King, is it? Let's see how strong you are to dare to behave so atrociously here. Zhu Yanghua's aura was boundless. As soon as he attacked, he activated the Heavenly Bamboo Scripture and guided the Heavenly Bamboo Dharma idol to descend. For a moment, his aura was unparalleled, and he had the shocking demeanor of an invincible overlord of his generation. The 3 great void immortal experts of the Heavenly Bamboo Clan were instantly at their strongest state. They could not wait to kill Xia, Kunlun, and the other two with a single thought. Void Immortals were rare to begin with. However, under this space-time wormhole, 6 Void Immortal experts had gathered. Moreover, each of them unleashed their peak combat strength and began a great clash. 3 against 3. Who's going to win? The big shots who were entrenched at the entrance of the 10,000 try battlefield were watching with their eyes wide open. This kind of battle was extremely rare and could only be encountered in the Emperor Road. However, now, the second stage of the Emperor Road, the 10,000 try battlefield, had just begun, and a bloody battle between young Void Immortals had broken out. It was truly shocking. Kill! The entire Crimson Great Plains was trembling. The tens of thousands of elite soldiers who were approaching the battlefield were terrified. Many of them were suffocating. This was the violent combat strength of 6 Void Immortals. It was so oppressive that they found it difficult to breathe and could not even stand properly. Boom! In an instant, the moment the 6 Void Immortals collided, a terrifying aura spread out. The entire space-time was trembling, and then a great collapse occurred. Dazzling light was born. The 6 great experts were dazzling and blazing. As they fought, the Crimson Great Plains, which was riddled with holes, began to tremble and break apart. It even formed a spectacular energy field that covered the sky. No one could get close. Even the true immortals were greatly intimidated. Bam! There was also blood that bloomed and dyed the void red. In the terrifying energy field, rays of bloody light bloomed one after another. It was a poignant sight. Zhu Yao originally had the intention to kill Xia Kunlun, but in the end, the purple golden gourd was blocked by the 9 Heavens Flame Fan. The moment that person pounced on her, Zhu Yao was blasted away and fell into a pool of blood, trembling. At this moment, she was terrified. She felt that she was facing the young Devil King. She even suspected that the young Devil King and Xia Kunlun were the same person. Boom! On the other battlefield, Zhu Juyong was in disbelief. No matter how powerful his 9 sons were, it was still destroyed by the undying war god's fist. The 9 sons were completely shattered. Ah! He cried out in pain. Su Yin, who was at the peak of his strength, formed a fist seal and punched him until his chest collapsed. Then he was sent flying. It was a shocking scene. The 2 Void Immortals of the Sky Bamboo lineage were defeated miserably. Xia Kunlun and the Undying Body were like the war god who judged all life in the world. Of course, the most shocking thing was the bloody battle between Zhu Songhua and the young Devil King. The 2 were in their strongest state and bombarded each other 3 times in succession. Each attack was more ferocious than the last. When the 3rd explosion occurred, blood splashed out from each other's bodies. This made people tremble. Who was Zhu Yanghua? The strongest person of the Sky Bamboo lineage, but the young Devil King could fight him to this extent. No! Zhu Yanghua roared with grief and indignation. He originally wanted to crush the young Devil King and rush to the primogenitor's land of fortune. However, he had miscalculated. He had underestimated the young Devil King. Even the primogenitor's land of fortune was finally closed. Xia Kunlun, Undying Body, and the young Devil King. Together, they were Su Yin. Void Immortals were rare. However, Su Yin had transformed into the 3 pure ones. Each of them had extraordinary battle strength. The essence, energy, and spirit they emitted had already pierced through the space-time wormhole, forming 3 blurry figures. This situation was to dominate the strongest seat. Chapter 1487. What was this? 2 of the 3 Void Immortals from Sky Bamboo had been defeated. Only Zhu Yanghua and the young Devil King were on par. If they were not in the Sky Bamboo's resource lands, but in the Emperor Road's battle platform, then things would be much worse. Perhaps all 3 of them would be defeated by this invincible combination, and the Sky Bamboo would have no successor. Zhu Juyong and the others were enough to represent Sky Bamboo's honor. Now that they had been defeated, it was a fatal blow to their tribe. It's closed. From this moment on, the dozen or so true immortals from Sky Bamboo let out a hysterical roar, their aura leaking out. The entire Great Scarlet Plain was suffocating. making people tremble and have difficulty breathing. The tens of thousands of elite soldiers did not know what it meant when the primogenitor's passage was completely closed. However, the core disciples of Sky Bamboo knew all too well that once the passage was closed, it was very likely that they would never be able to open the primogenitor's creation ground again. They would also lose the great opportunity for their tribe to rise. B** starred. Zhu Yanghua's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. He was so angry that his entire body was trembling. He said with a trembling voice, "This is really a huge joke, a huge joke." Zhu Yanghua was so angry that he coughed out a mouthful of blood. His eyes were red. He had fantasized about the primogenitor's creation ground for countless years. Finally, when it was opened, there was a huge change. The passage was closed. Whether it could be reopened was a huge problem. In the next moment, Zhu Yanghua saw Xia Kunlun and the other two retreating quickly. They wanted to leave the Great Scarlet Plain at a frightening speed. In an instant, they had to cross the vast mountains and rivers and perform a space-time jump. Boom! Huge hands of true immortals stretched out, filled with immortal Tao order, and suppressed the three void immortals who wanted to leave. However, the three peak void immortals were too fast. If Su Yin wanted to leave, no one could stop him. Although there were true immortals in this 10,000 tribe battlefield, there were no powerful true immortals at all. "Stay here." The true immortal who occupied this place was furious, the large hand that reached out even burning, quickly enlarging, covering the sky and covering the earth. Along the way, the heavens collapsed and the earth split apart, the crazy waves of energy too astonishing, smashing apart the small world ahead, making the sun and moon tremble. Ha ha! The three figures let out long roars, their black hair fluttering. Three figures drifted indeterminately through space, and they moved along the general trend of the heavens and the earth as they strolled through space with peerlessly graceful bearing. They were truly peerlessly overbearing. "All of you deserve to die here," Zhu Yanghua roared out in anger. His aura completely ignited. A terrifying radiance rose up from the ruined blood plains. The sky bamboo that took root behind him began to shine, especially the roots. The thumb-sized sky bamboo could be called incomparably terrifying. After all, it was a piece of root left behind by the ancestor. It was enough to allow sky bamboo ancestor to reincarnate and cultivate again. What's that? The race's true immortals were all horrified, finding it hard to control their emotions, wanting to prostrate themselves in worship towards the sky bamboo root. The sky bamboo root was unimaginably powerful. It had awakened from its slumber. Accompanied by the chanting of sutras, the order of the universe was restored. Its suppressive power was unimaginable. This treasure is too terrifying. Su Yan's eyes turned red. The sky bamboo ancestor's root was the foundation of his path. It was priceless. Once it was suppressed, it was like an invincible person's hand. Although it was difficult for the sky bamboo root to unleash its strongest power, a slight tremor was enough to disintegrate Su Yan's three avatars. One could imagine how powerful the sky bamboo root was. If he could obtain the fortune left behind by the ancestor, his future achievements would be limitless. Once he mastered the sky bamboo root, he would definitely have a place in the top 10 of the emperor rankings. However, everything was destroyed by Su Yin. He wanted to kill Su Yin. "Ah!" Su Yin roared at the sky. The three avatars lit up at the same time. They were awakened one after another. Their auras were completely boiling. They stood at their peak. Under the suppression of the sky bamboo root, the three avatars were about to merge into one, turning into a new Su Yin. "I can't merge." The three Su Yans erupted at the same time. The young Devil King used the Path of Calamity, the indestructible body awakened the initial fist, and Xia Kunlun used the Dragon Tiger Divine Escape. The three Void Immortals were dazzling. They unleashed their strongest attacks, and bombarded the sky bamboo root, descending from the sky. Boom! Loud explosions were heard. The scene was shocking. It was a scene of heaven and earth collapsing. Blood even spilled, dyeing the sky red. Terrifying auras were everywhere. People did not know what kind of treasure Zhu Sunhua had used. It could fight against three alone. They had to admit that he was extremely stunning at this moment. He controlled the sky bamboo dharma form and suppressed three void immortals. Unfortunately, the next scene made people pale. Zhu Sunhua's sky bamboo dharma form was blurring, twisting, and even showing signs of shattering. It was about to explode. Wah! In an instant, Zhu Sunhua was sent flying. His body was about to rot. He let out a roar of grief and indignation, full of unwillingness. Just now, he almost relied on the sky bamboo root to suppress the three void immortals. Unfortunately, the sky bamboo root was not something he could use for a long time. It was equivalent to cutting down the immortal Tao with a sword. Once it was used, it would cause great damage to his body. Of course, the most important thing was that he, Zhu Sunhua, was not qualified to control the sky bamboo root. Zhu Sunhua. The true immortals' expressions changed greatly. They all rushed over and saw that Zhu Sunhua was in a miserable state. His body was in tatters and his head was cracked. His injuries were too serious. Zhu Sunhua was filled with grief and indignation. His mournful eyes stared at the place where Xia Kunlun disappeared. He began to clench his fists. The flames of anger burned in his heart, burning him until he was about to lose his mind. Pa! Then Zhu Sunhua turned his head, raised his big hand, and slapped the heavily injured Zhu Yao. His body trembled and he fell to the ground. Zhu Sunhua, what are you doing? Zhu Yao covered his blood-red cheeks. He was beaten beyond recognition by Zhu Sunhua. His cheeks were cracked. His appearance was too miserable. You're a pig. Zhu Sunhua pointed at Zhu Yao and roared angrily. Even if you're a pig, you shouldn't let the enemy sneak into your side. You're worse than a pig. Bastard, shut up. Zhu Yao exploded in anger. If you dare to talk back to me again, I'll chop you alive. Zhu Sunhua roared. You trash, you still want to fight with me for the primogenitor's fortune? If the primogenitor's fortune land is really difficult to reopen, you, Zhu Yao, will be the sinner of the tribe. 100 deaths won't be enough to atone for your sins. Zhu Jiang's face was ashen as he glared at Zhu Yao. How could he have known that Xia Kunlun was a spy? At this moment, Zhu Jiang even felt that the loss of the 7-colored yuan immortal elixir might have something to do with Xia Kunlun. Damn it! Zhu Yao trembled. Her family most likely already knew about this. Once the news of Xia Kunlun sneaking into the sky bamboo bloodline spread, the consequences would be unimaginable. Even the patriarch behind her would find it difficult to speak up for her. Zhu Sunhua, this is no longer important. We must capture Xia, Kunlun, and the others. A true immortal rushed over with a gloomy face. He tried to chase after Su Yan, but failed. Could he just watch them leave? Don't worry. Zhu Sunhua regained his composure and said in a low voice, the young Devil King and the others may have escaped, but their injuries are definitely serious. They can't run far. The aura left by my sky bamboo root in their bodies isn't something that can be dispelled that easily. If we can find them. Zhu Yongliang lost his composure. Zhu Yangkai lost control of his tone and said, we must kill them. No, find a foolproof plan and suppress them all. Zhu Sunhua's face was gloomy. He couldn't care less about the young Devil King. He didn't believe that he couldn't open the space left by the primogenitor. Perhaps he could find another way to reopen the fortune land. After all, he had obtained the sky bamboo primogenitor's root. If he couldn't obtain the fortune left by the primogenitor, it would be very difficult for him to fully fuse with the sky bamboo root scripture. He might not be able to do it in his lifetime. This is the supreme pass for me, Zhu Sunhua, to reach the top 10 on the monarch ranking, or even the top 3. Zhu Sunhua's eyes were bloodshot. This was a great opportunity that could change his life. How could he be willing to miss it? He wanted to reopen the fortune land. The sky bamboo branch was under the protection of the army. Su Yin couldn't stay any longer. Although he also wanted to dig out the sky bamboo root scripture from Zhu Sunhua's body, he didn't have the chance to do so. Su Yin traversed through the void and found a safe zone. At this moment, his aura was completely weakened. Although the one Qi turning 3 pure ones was the strongest divine ability in history, its biggest flaw was that the Qi turning 3 pure one state was too much for Su Yin. Fuse. Su Yin's voice was deep. The 3 incarnations glowed at the same time. Suddenly, they walked together and fused with each other. In the blink of an eye, the weakened Su Yan's aura was terrifying. He stood at the peak and looked down on the universe. The moment the life force in his body boiled, Su Yin staggered and almost lost his balance. He felt that he was being suppressed. It was as if his life force was being locked down by the strongest, and he was about to be killed. Su Yin was pleasantly surprised. This was the heavenly tribulation. He looked into the starry sky and found a vast aura fluctuating. It was about to gather and suppress him. Ha ha ha! Su Yin laughed. This was the heavenly tribulation's reaction to him. Once he passed the baptism of the Emperor Road's second stage heavenly tribulation, Su Yin would be able to step into the pinnacle of the immortal realm. Then, he would be very close to the immortal realm. Steady. He quickly suppressed his aura and sealed himself. Soon, the environment suppression on him disappeared, and the world returned to normal. Su Yin had suffered great losses. He also had some internal injuries. He had to stand at the peak of his condition before he could withstand the baptism of the heavenly tribulation. Good things just keep happening. Su Yin was very relaxed, and his face was full of smiles. The biggest problem was solved. He was looking forward to the day when the bamboo moon would be born. At the same time, he was also looking forward to the upcoming path of supremacy. When I step into the pinnacle of the immortal realm, it'll be the day I prove myself. Su Yin sat cross-legged on the ground. His powerful essence, qi, and spirit leaked out. When that time came, it would be Su Yan's strongest era. In the 10,000 tribes battlefield, there was no need for him to fear any powerful enemies. So what if they were true immortals? As long as he did not encounter any true immortals whose cultivation bases were too high, Su Yin had the ability to suppress them. Whoosh! Su Yin waved his sleeves, and a large number of natural treasures fell to the ground. His eyes shone with excitement. After all, he had taken away the heavenly bamboo lineage's secret treasure vault. There were many natural treasures in there, including all kinds of rare immortal herbs. There were even great medicines that contained exuberant immortal path essence. Of course, the most important thing was that there were 2 complete immortal herbs that he had sealed. When Su Yin stepped into the immortal path realm, it would be the time for him to refine the immortal herbs and strengthen himself. Su Yin took out immortal herbs and stuffed them into his stomach to refine. He needed a large amount of energy to recover his losses. Let's begin. Once I've recovered, it'll be time for me to transcend the heavenly tribulation. Su Yan's eyes shone with the flames of battle. He circulated the initial sutra and combined it with a series of great medicines to recover rapidly. Chapter 1488. The outside world was in chaos. The various clans were in heated discussions. The young Devil King was ferocious. Although he had only risen for a short period of time, the things he had done were too glorious. He was already known as a ruthless person and was treated as a super-wanted criminal. However, no one expected the young Devil King to have helpers, 2 void immortal experts. Look, the sky bamboo's resource secret realm and 3 vague figures in the space-time wormhole. This means that the 3 of them have the potential to reflect the space-time wormhole. Is the celestial court going to rise? 3 peak void immortals have appeared. This power cannot be ignored. Actually, I still don't know how the sky bamboo offended the young Devil King. Why is the young Devil King targeting their clan? Some people started to sympathize with the sky bamboo clan. They had been attacked by the young Devil King consecutively. Now, their resource secret realm had suffered heavy losses, but they still couldn't stop the young Devil King. Of course, These clans didn't know much about the inside story. They guessed that it was the young Devil King's leader, but they didn't know that it was someone called Xia Kunlun who did it. In less than a day, the news reached the Sky Bamboo lineage. The Sky Bamboo lineage's patriarchs were enraged and were about to go on a rampage. How is this possible? Zhu Yuanli was paralyzed on the ground. His whole body was covered in cold sweat. Especially the furious flames of the elders. They wanted to crush Zhu Yuanli alive. This is what you did. The ancestors were so angry that their veins were bulging. Zhu Yuanli was terrified. He said with a trembling voice, Xia Kunlun, how could he be a spy? He even worked with a young devil king to destroy the ancestral land. I don't believe it. Xia Kunlun might have been killed. Someone must be impersonating him. Zhu Yuanli wasn't the only one who didn't believe it. Some of the elders in the clan also didn't dare to believe it. They all felt that Zhu Yuanli's speculation was correct. Xia Kunlun must have been killed in the 10,000 tribe battlefield. Someone must have impersonated him. However, someone suddenly said in horror, if Xia Kunlun has always been a spy and is even a grandmaster of occult arts, then the seven-colored immortal tree and Zhu Gaoga. At this point, Zhu Yuanli was terrified and almost wet his pants. If this series of events were done by Xia Kunlun, this was simply insane. Investigate. Investigate for me. The clan's ancestral grounds were in chaos, and a major spy had appeared in the clan. This spy was even one of the top experts in the outer sect. He had cultivated in the Sky Bamboo lineage for a year or two, and had even come into contact with the clan's best cave abode. This was a huge matter. Soon, the entire ancestral land was shaken. The several patriarchs who came to investigate were furious and almost spat out a mouthful of blood. They were so angry that they were trembling, and their faces were ashen. The divine dragon's grotto had been completely destroyed, and the spiritual essence that had been accumulated over the years had been completely depleted. Even the hundreds of heavenly grotto mansions nearby had suffered severe losses. Someone couldn't take it anymore and let out a shrill cry. Xia Kunlun. Who are you? Who are you? That was over 100 peak heavenly grottos. Nearly all of their essence had been stolen. Such a despicable method caused the old ancestors' heart to bleed. This was simply a disaster. But only now did they realize that it was too humiliating. The group of old ancestors couldn't take it anymore, releasing terrifying killing intent. Ever since their clan was founded, they had never suffered such a huge loss. Moreover, this matter was too humiliating. If news of it got out, they would become a laughingstock. Xia Kunlun, who are you? The Sky Bamboo lineage's vast ancestral grounds were trembling. Cold killing intent leaked out and swept across the vast Sky Bamboo continent, causing great waves. With so many peak heavenly grottos almost destroyed, Xia Kunlun must have infiltrated the Sky Bamboo lineage long ago. How bold was he? Could it be that he was the culprit behind the seven-colored immortal tree? It must be. When the Nine Cauldrons auction left, Xia Kunlun was killed by the young Devil King's experts. Zhu Yuanli was still trying to shift the blame. After all, he was the one who had recruited Xia Kunlun into the clan. He had to take responsibility for anything that happened. Roar. However, an earth-shattering roar exploded. With a rumble, it instantly killed Zhu Yuanli. Zhu Lihui went berserk. His roar caused the starry skies to tremble and the sun and moon to dim. He stood in Su Yan's former abode and used a secret treasure to calculate what had happened here. Although the image was blurry, he could still see that Zhu Gaoga was suppressed by Xia Kunlun. This is outrageous. The group of elders was so angry that they almost fainted. Xia Kunlun had been scheming from the start. He was definitely the culprit behind the theft of the seven-colored immortal fruit. Zhu Gaoga was merely a scapegoat. The truth of the matter was revealed. The clan was restless. They were seething with rage, causing the entire Sky Bamboo continent to tremble. This was a great humiliation. How could the Sky Bamboo lineage still have the face to call themselves an immortal sect? Xia Kunlun, who are you? Zhu Lihui's expression was mournful as he said furiously, how did he destroy the opening of the ancestors' creation? How did he steal the seven-colored immortal fruit? Everything else can be explained, but how do you explain these two? Xia Kunlun sent a woman into the ancestors' creation, and the creation was closed. An elder hurriedly spoke and imprinted bamboo, Moon's appearance in the void. When Zhu Lihui saw the portrait, he almost couldn't breathe. He let out a maniacal laugh. He understood. He understood everything. If it was Bamboo Moon, then the one who helped Xia Kunlun's scheme and steal the seven-colored immortal fruit must be the ancestors' disciple. Xia Kunlun was definitely an expert from the Xianwang universe. Now, everything could be explained. Otherwise, how could the young demon king be with Xia Kunlun? Retribution. Ha ha ha, retribution. Zhu Lihui seemed to have gone mad. His eyes were bloodshot as he roared in grief and indignation. His only son had been killed by Su Yan. This was retribution, karma. However, as the saying went, there was always a cause and an effect. He had tasted the bitter fruit, but in the end, he didn't get anything. This was truly a great humiliation. What? That woman is a clansman from the Xianwang universe. She's a personal disciple nurtured by the ancestors' disciple. The entire clan was in an uproar. If news of this spread, the impact would be terrible. Just the fact that Zhu was a personal disciple of the ancestor was enough to set off a shocking storm. Retribution. Zhu Lihui, and all of you, this is retribution. Suddenly, a low and hoarse voice exploded. In the prison of the sky bamboo lineage, there was a maniacal laughter. Ha ha, retribution. Zhu Yao is still alive. Ha ha, this is retribution. Look at all of you. How sad. Back then, Zhu Yao was ordered to oversee the Xianwang universe. He endured hundreds of years of hardship without any complaints. He even gave up the Daluo road. In the end, what he got in return was a bloody massacre. Ha ha ha, retribution, ha ha. In the gloomy prison, there were over 100 experts who had once intimidated a region. They were shackled, and they were laughing crazily. However, their eyes were brimming with tears. Some of them roared at the top of their lungs. Just you wait, the ancestor will come back. You people who want to create the glory of the heaven race and rewrite the name of our race, none of you will have a good ending. Cough, cough. Zhu Lihui was so angry that he vomited blood. His body trembled as he pointed at the prison and shouted, "Kill! Kill! Kill them all! Kill!" Boom! A huge pressure suddenly descended, causing everyone to tremble. Zhu Lihui didn't rule out the possibility that this was a supreme existence from the ancestral court that had suppressed the dark prison. Zhu Tian, you'll die a horrible death. You won't have a good ending in the future. The hoarse roars were gradually suppressed. The dark prison was sealed forever. The ancestors of the clans didn't dare to breathe loudly. They knew the origins of these people. They were all elders of clans. The reason why they didn't get rid of them was because they hoped that they would change their minds and work for the clans. After all, some of the experts suppressed in the prison were Zenith Heaven true immortals. They couldn't bear to kill them. Honorable ancestor, Zhu Lihui and the others knelt on the ground and kowtowed to the black shadow in front of them. His aura was too shocking. The entire space was under his shadow. Everything was suppressed, and the immortal Tao no longer existed. This was the honorable domain. Zhu Tian was one of the most outstanding disciples of the ancestor. He rarely came out of seclusion, and this matter had angered him. Zhu Yao, the most useless disciple of the ancestor. Humph, he snorted and didn't care. What he cared about the most was the sky bamboo root scripture. Zhu Tian originally wanted to possess the sky bamboo root scripture, but he failed. Therefore, he planted this thing in the body of an outstanding descendant, hoping that it could be cultivated in his body. However, how could Zhu Tian not be angry when such a change occurred in the ancestor's land of fortune? Honorable ancestor, things aren't that bad. An elder said in a trembling voice. Zhu Yanghua has locked onto the traces of Xia Kunlun and the other two. Our clan has already sent an army to encircle them. Even if the three of them have 3 heads and 6 arms, they won't live past tomorrow. The entrenched figure in the darkness slowly blurred. However, The moment it completely disappeared, an ancient leaf fell down. The moment the ordinary leaf fell in front of them, it was as if a vast world had fallen. Its aura was terrifying. Bring this item with you. Open the space of fortune where it fell. A cold voice exploded, shocking Zhu Lihui and the others. This should be the ancestor's item, or a leaf that fell from the ancestor's body. This was a treasure that was hard to find in the world. Young Devil King and Xia Kunlun, let's see how long you can live. I want to see who you are. Zhu Lihui's heart was filled with vengeance and anger. His only son was killed. The hatred was too great. He didn't even think that Bamboo Moon was still alive. This matter had a huge impact on him. Then Xia Kunlun was definitely a powerhouse of the Xianwang universe. Who could it be? He vaguely thought of a ruthless person who was buried in the darkness. Even Xian Tyron's incarnation was Su Yin. Could this Xia Kunlun be Su Yin? Otherwise, who would be willing to risk their lives for Bamboo Moon? Whether you're a human or a ghost, you won't live for long. Killing intent rose in Zhu Lihui's heart. In the 10,000 races battlefield, Su Yin was recuperating. Almost a day had passed, and he had recovered more than half of the energy he had lost. Tomorrow morning, it should be enough. One precious medicine after another was refined by Su Yin. In order to recover to his peak as soon as possible, he didn't care about these heavenly treasures at all. He continued to absorb and refine them. The area 100,000 miles away from him was not peaceful. True immortals of the sky bamboo lineage arrived one after another. A total of 10 true immortals had arrived. They quickly rushed toward the destination where Su Yin was hibernating. Their speed was very fast. Each of them had a powerful killing weapon, so it was better to be prepared. At that instant, an extremely cold, murderous intent spread out and froze the area within 100,000 li. These were the 10 true immortals. Although 8 of them were at the first heaven realm, they were still experts of the 10 true immortal domains who had descended into the world. It was intimidating. Currently, the various great immortal sects and orthodoxies were frantically nurturing true immortal experts to protect the young kings of their clans. At the same time, they were also attacking more blessed lands in the 10,000 races battlefield. In this battle, in order to capture Su Yin and the others, the Sky Bamboo lineage had directly sent out 10 true immortals with powerful killing weapons. Someone's approaching. How fast? Su Yin, who was sitting cross-legged on the ground and cultivating, felt his heart skip a beat. I was careless. He was instinctively shocked. The heaven-opening writing brush had given him too much of a sense of security. However, this sense of security had caused Su Yin to lose the sharp sense of smell that he had always possessed. At this moment, he understood that everything was illusory. No matter how many supreme treasures one had, without powerful strength, one would still have to face the threat of death. Su Yin quickly guessed that it was because of the sky bamboo root. Otherwise, the other treasures wouldn't have been able to deceive his senses. Su Yin's expression was somewhat cold. It was definitely impossible for him to leave now. With the eye of heaven evasion, he could see that there were tens of thousands of troops within a radius of 1,000,000 miles. This was an inescapable net. He couldn't escape even if he had wings. With a great crisis approaching, Su Yin became calmer and calmer. He was thinking of a way out. Although Su Yin was in the 3 Pure One state and could attack several true immortal experts at the same time, the formation of the 10 true immortals was astonishing. They were already threatening Su Yan's life. This kid can hold on. Why isn't he running now? He's a master of the occult arts. He knows that this is a critical juncture. There's no point in running. He's the only one here. The Xian people sent many experts, but we blocked them all outside. The Xian people have offered 50,000 kilograms of immortal Dao stones for the young Devil King's head. If he's alive, they're even willing to pay 200,000 kilograms of immortal Dao stones. The faces of the 10 true immortals sank. They realized that Xia Kunlun was the only one here. The young Devil King and indestructible body were both gone. These people looked at Su Yin coldly, as if they were looking at a dead man. A false immortal who had not recovered from his injuries? Resisting the 10 true immortals? That was completely wishful thinking. Xia Kunlun, your death is at hand. If you have something to say, say it. A genuine immortal in blue walked over. Zhu Yin stood there and looked at Su Yin with cold eyes. He said coldly, "Who are you? I hope you can explain clearly. Otherwise, I guarantee that you won't be able to die even if you want to." Su Yin sat cross-legged on a mountain. He was still recuperating. He was refining the immortal treasure medicine in his body to recover his energy loss. Su Yin shook his sleeves and took out the unconscious, snow-white little critter. "Stop them. I'll let you drink 10 big bowls." Su Yan's calm words made the 10 true immortals doubt their lives. A little rat? Stop them? Is this Xia Kunlun a lunatic? De Jean. Chapter 1489. A pair of pitch-black beast eyes opened. Its eyes were hazy with sleep. Little white dragon lazily yawned, stood up, and stretched his back. This guy's reaction was a little slow. Its mind was filled with the delicious images of the 10 big bowls of treasure blood. Saliva flowed out from the corner of its mouth as it excitedly whimpered at Su Yin. It couldn't wait to drink it right now. At the same time, Su Yin took out the treasure blood he had prepared beforehand and let the little white dragon drink it. Well, the little white dragon howled and stretched out its little head. It stuck out its bright red tongue and swallowed the treasure blood mouthful by mouthful. To the little white dragon, Su Yin was its stay-at-home dad. In short, no heavenly treasure could compare to Su Yan's bowl of treasure blood. "You're really a madman." Zhu Yinli was so angry that he laughed and said with disdain, "Relying on this little mouse that hasn't been weaned off milk, you want to stop us? Xia Kunlun, oh Xia Kunlun, you're really a madman. If you want to find a scapegoat, you have to find a stronger one." "Roar," the little white dragon growled. It hated it when people disturbed it while it was eating. The little critter was especially cute when it was angry. Zhu Yinli didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He looked at Su Yin with pity and said, "Xia Kunlun, you tried every possible way to sneak into my sky bamboo lineage. This old man really wants to cut you into pieces. But don't worry, I won't let you die so easily. You'll be miserable from now on." Speaking until here, the little white dragon also finished drinking the treasure blood. It licked the corner of its mouth as if it hadn't had enough. It happily stuck out its tongue and ate the remaining treasure blood in the bowl clean. "Little bastard, you can still eat." Su Yan's silence and the snow-white little critter's cheerful drinking made Zhu Yinli angry. He lifted his foot and kicked the treasure bowl away. Then, he looked at the snow-white little critter with his gloomy eyes. He wanted to pull out its tendons and skin it. "Roar!" The little white dragon was angry. Its snow-white fur stood up like a little hedgehog. That treasure bowl was its favorite item. "Little bastard, a pitiful ant dares to hiss at me." Bamboo Seal immediately waved his palm and struck out. During this process, he did not show any mercy. Immortal Tao battle prowess was released, wanting to directly blast little white dragon into smithereens. Roar! When the second roar exploded, the world that was originally clear for thousands of kilometers was instantly filled with dazzling light. A surging golden river of immortals descended, drowning the entire sky and illuminating the starry sky. This scene was extremely sacred. "Little guy, transform. Let me see the power of a long day sown." Su Yin recuperated in peace. He took out the few precious medicines that could nurture immortal energy and swallowed them all. He was already very close to recovering. As long as little white dragon could hold on for this period of time, the 10 true immortals' faces sank. What was going on? The commotion was too outrageous. So much so that in the next moment, the golden divine light that filled the sky completely dissipated. The bright universe also became pitch black like ink. It was as if a purgatory of death had enveloped the world. It was completely impossible to see one's own fingers. The atmosphere was violent to the extreme. The reversal of the weather was all affected by little white dragon's beast eyes. Its aura had already become extremely violent. Roar! The third roar exploded. The boundless territory was trembling. Large cracks even appeared. It was as if a powerful Qilin had shattered the heaven and earth with its roar. Its vicious aura surged into the world. Looking from afar, one could see that in the direction of the source, space-time had exploded. A supreme creature also followed closely into the lower realm. How is this possible? Bamboo Seal was completely petrified. He saw a giant vicious beast rising from the ground. Its flesh shell was blazing with golden light. It had a dragon tail and took heavy steps. Its mouth and nose spurted out yin and yang qi. This was that snow-white little critter, that creature that looked like a little puppy. After transforming for a short period of time, Little White Dragon was ridiculously powerful. Its life essence was too vigorous. Even if a true immortal giant vicious beast roared here, no one would treat it as an immortal. Bam! The hand of Immortal Path that was originally filled with bamboo origin power was directly destroyed. It was very difficult for it to withstand Long Daesong's barbaric strength. Not good. The 9 true immortals who were entrenched in the surroundings were shocked. The transformed Long Daesong charged over. The collision caused Bamboo Seal's entire arm to explode. Even his body was sent flying. He spat out a large mouthful of blood. His eyes flashed with shock and disbelief. How could this snow-white little critter have the battle prowess of a true immortal? Impossible. In the next moment, Bamboo Seal started to doubt his life. Because the golden battle armor he was wearing was directly pierced through by Long Daesong's horn on its forehead. He cried out in pain. His chest had collapsed. The golden horn was like a sword embryo, piercing through his body. He felt fear. The Immortal Path order that evolved in his body was completely unable to withstand the penetration of Long Daesong's horn. One must know that the golden battle armor was enough to withstand the attack of Immortal Path realm. However, the horn on Long Daesong's forehead directly pierced through it, injuring his true immortal body. Suyin was also shocked. He knew that Little White Dragon was powerful, but he definitely didn't expect it to be powerful to this extent. He even realized that in these few months, Long Daesong's strength had increased by a lot compared to before. Just what level of freak was this guy? This was a 10 transformation true dragon that was just born a few months ago. In the future, Long Daesong's space for growth was really limitless. Rumble, suddenly, from all directions, a total of 9 layers of Immortal Path light surged toward Long Daesong from all directions. These were 9 true immortals. Once they joined forces, the Immortal Path's divine might was vast. The exuberant Immortal Path energy directly drowned Long Daesong. Little White Dragon, Suyin was nervous. His body's recovery speed was increasing. He used the body-nurturing art to madly steal the essence of precious herbs to replenish the damage to his body. If he wanted to break through this situation, he had to step into the immortal realm of the 9th heaven. Hence, unless it was absolutely necessary, Suyin wouldn't make a move. Otherwise, this calamity would be extremely difficult to break through. Roar! Long Daesong roared at the sky. Its golden body shone brightly. One had to admit that Little White Dragon's body was too tough. The combined energy of 9 true immortals couldn't suppress it at all. Instead, its body flowed with a brilliant radiance, forming a defensive light barrier. Suppress. The 9 true immortals roared again. Just what kind of supreme living being was this? It could actually resist the combined suppression of 9 true immortals. Was this really a false immortal? The auras of the 9 true immortals surged. The ocean-like Immortal Path ocean descended and intertwined with each other, forming an Immortal Path ocean. It forcefully restrained Long Daesong's violent transformation. The 9 experts' expressions were grim. Even if the saint of an immortal sex orthodoxy came, he wouldn't be able to withstand the combined suppression of 9 true immortals, let alone Little White Dragon. It was already impressive enough for a false immortal to kill a true immortal. However, who could stand against 9 true immortals? Little White Dragon cried out anxiously. However, no matter how hard it struggled, it couldn't shake off the combined suppression of the 9 true immortals. Boom! All of a sudden, a shiny heaven and earth bracelet tore through the void and shot toward one of the true immortal experts. Heaven and earth bracelet. The true immortal was shocked. Wasn't this the treasure of the young Devil King? Why did Xia Kunlun have it? He didn't have time to think. He used all his strength to resist the heaven and earth bracelet. However, this immortal treasure was enough to encompass heaven and earth. This true immortal expert was instantly subdued. Soul, steadying needle. Another true immortal cried out in shock. A pitch-black 3-inch soul, steadying needle shot toward him at lightning speed. He fled in panic. However, he had just stepped into the true immortal realm, and his primordial spirit was still too weak. If he was hit by the soul, steadying needle, even if he didn't die, he would be half-crippled. Su Yin acted decisively and interfered with the two true immortals. Little white dragon, 10 bowls of precious blood. Hurry up and charge. When Su Yan's shout reached Long Daesong's ears, it went berserk once again. Its eyes flickered with excitement. It roared as it swallowed the sky, and its entire body surged with even more violent energy. Its left eye was golden, while its right eye was pitch black. Both of its pupils burned, as if it had opened up the 6 paths of reincarnation. Accompanied by its own rising aura, it tore apart the seals of the 7 true immortals. What kind of creature is this? Could it be an extinct supreme being? The 7 experts were horrified. Long Daesong's explosive power was too shocking. Whether it was his primordial spirit or his body, they were both ridiculously strong. Even his immortal substance was incomparable. Roar! The suppressed Long Daesong rushed out and pounced toward Zhu Yinli, who had kicked away its precious bowl. No! Zhu Yinli screamed. Zhu Yinli screamed in fear. What kind of monster was it that could tear apart the seals of the 7 true immortals? The Dragon Grand Sage charged forward like a raging bull. As his hooves landed on the ground, thunderous booms could be heard. The golden battle armor, which was already shattered, exploded. Even his body was torn apart. ****starred. The 7 true immortals almost went crazy. Zhu Yinli was directly crippled. Don't hold back. Work together and suppress it. The 7 true immortals roared. They each activated their great, remarkable powers and charged toward Long Daesong. Boom! These were 7 true immortals. At the current stage of the Myriad Tri battlefield, this combination was enough to sweep through an area. Remarkable powers bloomed in the sky, one after another. They contained super destructive power that could easily kill a void immortal expert. However, when all of this was about to crush little white dragon's body, the horn on its forehead shone brightly. It tore the sky apart, and the layers of remarkable powers were torn into 2. The horn on its forehead could be said to be a supreme treasure. Its penetrative power was abnormal. Even the yin-yang diagram that covered its forehead flowed with gray light. It was like a great Tao diagram that was invincible. All remarkable powers had no effect on Long Daesong. What was this? Was it immune to magic power? The eyes of the 7 true immortals turned red. What noble bloodline this was. If they could capture it and bring it back to their family and tame it, it was hard to imagine what kind of battle beast their family would obtain. Boom! A huge seal flipped over from afar and smashed on a Long Daesong's body. Long Daesong, who was still excited, was sent flying by the huge seal. Blood flowed out of its mouth and nose. Ha ha! A beast will always be a beast. It has brute force, but it can't unleash the power it should have. The expert holding the huge seal sneered. Looks like our family will have another divine guardian beast. We must capture it alive. Xia Kunlun, I really have to thank you for giving our family such a great gift. Su Yin did not say a word. He had been speeding up the recovery of his losses. However, Long Daesong, who seemed to be heavily injured, suddenly got up. Yin and Yang Qi spewed out of its mouth and nose. The great immortal seal only left a bloody mark on its body. It did not hurt Long Daesong's body at all. It was also enraged. It pounced forward, raised its golden claws, and attacked the true immortal holding the huge seal. Nine Heaven's Divine Emperor. Chapter 1490. The toughness of its body is too ridiculous. It might be a supreme treasure of the demon race. Its indestructible body is comparable to an immortal Tao treasure. It's unparalleled in the world. Even the true immortal with the seal was stunned. The immortal Tao treasure couldn't even move it. It only left an insignificant wound. Don't hold back anymore. We must suppress it. If this battle beast is tamed, it will have a great impact on our race. The seven true immortals' eyes were red with greed. They each held a great killing weapon and charged towards Long Daesong. Although Long Daesong's potential was extraordinary, its body was tough, and its strength was extremely barbaric. It was not a true immortal expert after all. Now, the seven true immortals of the Sky Bamboo lineage joined forces to attack. This was their strongest state. They produced an energy storm that suppressed Long Daesong. Facing the thunderous attack, Long Daesong was like a newborn calf that was not afraid of tigers. It charged forward without any fear. Its golden flesh shell destroyed the immortal Tao energy that whistled towards it. Its posture and aura were like the return of an ancient beast. Its ferocious might shook the heavens and the earth. However, when it arrived in front of them, the seven true immortals laughed sinisterly. Their smiles were especially cruel. They threw out immortal Tao treasures that covered the sky and smashed towards Long Daesong. Boom! Long Daesong's powerful footsteps were blocked. There was a huge cauldron, a golden bell, a battle spear, and a killing sword. One after another, they flowed with immortal Tao killing intent and struck Long Daesong's body. Its majestic appearance looked a little miserable. It was beaten until its body trembled violently and rolled in the void. After all, Long Daesong lacked battle experience. Even if its battle strength could suppress a true immortal of the first or second heaven, it was still extremely difficult for it to withstand the suppression of a large number of immortal Tao treasures. Su Yin remained calm. He didn't help Long Daesong again, nor did he provide it with immortal Tao treasures. In the demon Tao, those with strong bodies could refine their treasure bodies into great killing weapons that could destroy everything. Long Daesong definitely had the potential to become a supreme treasure body. Although this battle was difficult for Little White Dragon, it was enough to let it taste the bitter fruit and focus on cultivation in the future. This was a 10 transformations true dragon. In the future, it would be a demon expert that could shake the world. Little White Dragon. Su Yin clenched his fists tightly. He would never treat it as a flower in a greenhouse. He would train it to become an indomitable demon expert. To not be. A beast will always be a beast. I want to see just how tough your body is. In the blink of an eye, a battle spear tore through the sky. Its speed was too fast, difficult to see with the naked eye. It immediately pierced towards Long Daesong's back. The black battle spear shone. It was extremely terrifying, like black lightning. If it was anyone else, they would have been directly pierced through and their bodies would explode. However, Long Daesong's back released Qingxiang sounds. Sparks flew everywhere. It was as if the battle spear struck a piece of divine iron. It was difficult to penetrate it, but it still tore open layers of golden scales. Of course, that was all it could do. Its skin is too tough. It is difficult for immortal treasures to destroy it. This creature is hard to find. Every part of its body is a treasure. Rumor has it that the demon race's supreme creatures can refine their bodies into super great killing weapons. This is most likely one of the demon race's supreme creatures. The seven true immortals of Sky Bamboo were discussing. The more they thought about it, the more shocked they became. They became more and more greedy towards Long Daesong. If they could suppress this unknown beast and take it away, it would be the same as obtaining a supreme battle beast for their race. Little thing, hang in there. Su Yin stared unblinkingly at Long Daesong, who was covered in cuts and bruises. This angered him. He really wanted to kill his way over. However, he held himself back. In the future, Long Daesung would inevitably face more bloody battles. It had to grasp the ability to survive. After experiencing this series of bloody battles, it would definitely grow quickly. Evil creature, you've suffered enough losses. Let's see how long you can last. A black-clothed true immortal brought out a large cauldron. With a rumble, it smashed towards Long Daesung. Long Daesung hissed. It wanted to avoid the large cauldron. However, the large cauldron quickly enlarged to a diameter of 10,000 feet. It was difficult to avoid and was directly smashed by it. It let out a furious roar. Its entire body was suppressed by the cauldron. Its blood-stained, golden body shone, causing the large cauldron to tremble. It seemed like it would be overturned at any time. Surrender obediently. You'll be the guardian divine beast of sky bamboo in the future. You should feel honored. A divine chain stretched out, interweaving with mysterious, immortal veins. It directly locked onto Long Daesung's neck. Roar. Long Daesung felt humiliated. Its neck was bound by the divine chain. It wanted to resist, but the other experts brought out their treasures one after another, suppressing its body and imprisoning it. Ha, it's finally suppressed. Animals will always be animals. It has divine power, but no powerful abilities. It's just a flower in a greenhouse. We'll suppress it and bring it back to our families. We'll definitely be able to cultivate an invincible battle beast. In the future, it'll accompany our holy sun to sweep through the world. The 7 true immortals laughed complacently. Looking at the imprisoned Long Daesung, they were especially excited. As long as they brought it back to their families, they would definitely be rewarded handsomely. Suddenly, strands of terrifying vitality leaked out, causing the void to tremble under the pressure. In the direction of the source, Su Yan's body blazed. Vast divine power surged out of his body. The scene was shocking. It was as if an ancient creature was slowly awakening from its slumber. It's Xia Kunlun. Suppress him, quick! The 3 true immortals instantly turned around and charged towards Su Yan. They were well aware of Xia Kunlun's strength. Hence, they unleashed their full power. They wanted to severely injure Su Yan in a single blow. Roar! Long Daesung roared. It was like a mad dragon that wanted to rush to Su Yan's aid. However, no matter how loud its roar was, it could not resolve Su Yan's crisis. It could only watch as danger approached Su Yan. In its fury, its beast blood boiled. Its pupils blazed 10,000 times brighter. Soul fire surged in its sea of consciousness. It seemed as if the 9 great demonic path supreme beings were reviving. Its aura was terrifying beyond compare. One after another, the true immortals coughed up blood violently. Their eyes turned black, and their bodies began to tremble. They felt great fear. They felt as if an invincible king had gone mad and wanted to destroy their bodies and souls. Oh no, the 4 true immortals were terrified. How could its primordial spirit be so freakish? It was too illogical. However, the result was beyond their expectations. Long Daesung's soul waves were too majestic. It caused its body to tremble violently. It could not bear it and was about to faint. It cried out indignantly. It saw Su Yan as its only kin. How could it watch as he was harmed? Xia Kunlun, obediently accept your punishment. Several true immortals had already slaughtered their way to Su Yan. There were even large groups of elite soldiers closing in from all directions. They were about to slaughter their way here. The scene was frightening enough. Essence blood filled the heavens. Boundless killing intent surged. There were at least millions of them. At least 10,000 elite soldiers slaughtered their way over. There were even quite a few sky bamboo lineage's disciples who carried great killing weapons. They had already begun to seal the sky and decimate the earth in all directions. What a great commotion. It's the sky bamboo lineage. Is the young devil king going to be captured alive? The outside world was not calm either. Who would have thought that the sky bamboo lineage would move so quickly? Another large-scale war had broken out. That's not right. Even though the space-time treasures projection is a bit blurry, that person doesn't seem to be the young devil king. It should be one of the three great vicious ones. This matter caused a huge commotion. The immortal race's people were extremely angry and disappointed. They originally thought that young Master Nian had been blocked. Who would have thought that it wasn't young Master Nian, but rather Xia Kunlun who had been blocked? How can we not avenge our son's death? Zhu Lihui's chest heaved violently. He saw Xia Kunlun through the space-time treasure mirror and growled, "We must capture him alive and bring him back to the tribe. I will personally beat him to death." No matter how magnanimous Zhu Lihui was, he could not swallow this resentment. This vile spawn is doomed. There's no way out. There was no need to mention how much the Sky Bamboo lineage hated Xia Kunlun. When they recalled what he had done, they still gnashed their teeth in hatred. Did they dare to believe it? A young man had infiltrated their tribe, stolen the seven-colored origin immortal fruit, and destroyed hundreds of pinnacle cave abodes. Many experts in the outside world saw this corner of space-time through the space-time treasure. Even though the image was blurry, they could still see that the Sky Bamboo lineage had gone to war. Tens of thousands of elite soldiers had slaughtered their way over. At their destination, three true immortals closed in on Su Yin. Their faces were cold, ferocious, and cruel. "Kneel!" someone roared. His aura went berserk. True immortal laws filled the air and struck towards Su Yin from all directions. In an instant, a terrifying aura filled the air. The scene shook the world. It was as if they had returned to the era when the heavens and earth were first created. Su Yan's pupils suddenly opened. His pupils burned brightly. As they opened, the vast space-time around him flickered. Connate Stone Eye. This scene infuriated Zhu Lihui. He must have fused with the Connate Stone Eye. Otherwise, Xia Kunlun could not possibly possess such a powerful Heaven's Eye. "I don't care if he's a human or a ghost. We must capture him alive. We can't kill him." Zhu Lihui growled. He was so angry that his body was trembling. Even his eyes were bloodshot. On the battlefield, killing intent surged. Cold radiance was like an ocean. The commotion grew more and more shocking. In the end, even the space-time wormhole was drowned by the killing intent. "Kill him." At this moment, the three true immortals attacked again. They unleashed their most powerful combat strength. They surged forward, intending to suppress Lu Sheng. Su Yin let out a long howl. His long black hair danced wildly. His aura was released without limit. His chi and blood were too vigorous. Even the true immortals could not seal it. It pierced through the heavens and rushed into the starry sky. What a powerful hero! Many important figures who saw this scene through the space-time mirror were shocked. What a terrifying foundation. He was definitely a top-notch false immortal. Could it be that the Celestial Court had given birth to another top-notch false immortal other than the young Devil King? No matter who he is, he must die. Zhu Lihui growled. With 9 true immortals and tens of thousands of elite soldiers, who could escape from such a lineup? Who could? Even if the Tong Tian young master came, would he be able to escape? It was impossible. Boom! However, in the next moment, the entire sky darkened. Heaven and earth shook. Gods and ghosts wept. The world was pitch black. The atmosphere was extremely oppressive. The elite soldiers who surrounded Lu Sheng were all frightened. They felt that something bad was about to happen. "Let's begin." Su Yan's words made the 3 true immortals tremble. They felt that the world had changed. There were supreme laws intertwining. The aura was so terrifying that they almost fell to the ground. "This is..." one of the true immortals almost despaired. What did he see? The entire region seemed to have turned gloomy, and lightning flashed in the sky. This terrified him. Was this a heavenly tribulation? What kind of F***ing joke was this? They had not attracted such a crazy killing intent when they broke through to the true immortal realm. Could it be that Xia Kunlun was going to break through to the true immortal realm and bring about an apocalyptic disaster here? Updated 3 chapters in a row. That's all for today. I'm going to watch the military parade. Love, China. Chapter 1491. Why is the sky turning dark? The images reflected by the various space-time treasured mirrors were dark and could not be seen clearly. At first, They thought that there was a problem with the space-time treasured mirrors operation. Lightning flashed in the dark images displayed by the treasured mirror. Bolts of lightning came one after another, chilling to the bone. They were like blood-red, evil dragons in the darkness, emitting a destructive aura. The experts of the various immortal sect orthodoxies were stunned. Someone said in shock, Xia Kunlun actually summoned a heavenly tribulation. Doesn't he know that the more people it engulfs, the stronger the heavenly tribulation will be? Darkness covered the sun, lightning flashed, and a destructive aura surged out, threatening to destroy all life. Su Yin pushed his aura and stood at its peak, causing the brewing lightning to go berserk. They fell together like thousands of blood-red evil dragons, crashing into the earth. What's that? Fear gripped the souls of all living beings. The aura, pulled by thousands of blood-red lightning bolts, descended upon the world in the form of thunder. It frightened them so much that some even fell to the ground, their bodies on the verge of breaking apart. Heavenly tribulation, it's heavenly tribulation. Their scalps were tingling. They wanted to escape, to get away from this disaster. However, the area covered by the heavenly tribulation was too far away. Darkness covered the sun, and the blood-red flashes illuminated the world. The entire world was in a state of extreme violence. The oppression was suffocating and depressing. The heavenly tribulation summoned by Su Yin was too vast. Blood-red lightning fell from the sky like an ocean. It was as if the boundless heavenly tribulation was about to fall. Arg. Batch after batch, the troops that surrounded them were torn apart by the lightning. They were beaten into balls of blood. Their bodies and souls were completely destroyed. Loud noises accompanied by blood spread out in the blood-red world. No, save me. Too many people were in despair as they struggled against the surging lightning. However, the series of protective treasures they summoned were unable to withstand the power of the heavenly tribulation. All of them began to explode. The instant they regained their senses from fear, lightning after lightning had already torn apart their precious bodies. Boom! The vast territory trembled. Bloody light filled the sky. Too many cultivators exploded. Immortals were nothing in the face of such a vast heavenly tribulation's power. Even the half-step true immortals were in despair. They couldn't escape at all. No matter how fast they were, they couldn't outrun the vast lightning strikes of the heavenly tribulation. In a short period of time, boundless myriad tribulations rained down, enveloping millions of miles of rivers and mountains. The spectators in the distance were all petrified. All of this was too sudden. The extent of the heavenly tribulation was unimaginable. They had seen true immortals undergo tribulation before, but it was definitely not as freakish as this. This is really crazy. Is this the true immortal tribulation? This is the tribulation of a pseudo-immortal realm cultivator. He wants to bury millions of lives with him. How crazy! In the area enveloped by the heavenly tribulation, there are quite a few true immortals. They would imperceptibly increase the strength of the heavenly tribulation. Who would be able to endure such a tribulation? The outside world was in an uproar. Heated discussions were taking place everywhere. The young Devil King's fame was too great. Now, even this unknown Xia Kunlun was being closely watched. The Xian people were being watched by a terrorist leader. Their expressions were ugly. They didn't care about Xia Kunlun's background. They only wanted to kill the young Devil King and didn't care about anything else. But there was no trace of the young Devil King. The boundless heavenly tribulation descended. In a few breaths of time, the clouds that covered the sky were all blood-red. The number of people who died was incalculable. Boom! A shocking scene. The heavenly tribulation covered millions of miles. Heavy rain poured down and lightning poured down, tearing everything apart. In the direction of the source, the lightning was like a sea. Lightning bolts came one after another. They were even thicker than mountains. Just like that, tens of thousands of lightning bolts rained down. They could easily destroy the heavens and earth. Su Yin was drowned by the heavenly tribulation. He cried out in pain. His entire body felt like it was being slashed by swords of laws. He was in so much pain that he wished he was dead. This kind of heavenly tribulation was very ridiculous. Before coming, the giant bamboo told Su Yin that once the heavenly tribulation was triggered, he had to be careful. This was because the stronger one was, the greater the risk they had to bear. It was completely a trial of their life essence. I have to endure it. Su Yin roared in the area of heavenly tribulation. His fighting spirit was high. He wanted to become a peak void immortal. He wanted to complete the transformation of his life essence. He wanted to cultivate the indestructible body. Xia Kunlun, you won't be able to endure it. With so many people involved, the heavenly tribulation will only get stronger. You won't be able to survive. Nearby, the true immortals were furious. However, they couldn't care less about the others. They exploded with their strongest power to resist the lightning. After all, there were 9 true immortals here. They were fully qualified to resist the lightning. They wouldn't die. What are you screaming for? I'll send you to hell first. Suddenly, at the source of the heavenly tribulation, a figure suppressed by the heavenly tribulation suddenly rose from the ground. After a short period of awakening, he crashed into a corner of the sea of lightning. Su Yan's body was char-black. His hair was disheveled. However, his essence, qi, and spirit were too shocking. In an instant, he rushed over. Tens of thousands of lightning bolts surrounded him as he rushed towards the 9 true immortals. Crazy. The 9 true immortals trembled. Was he crazy? How dare he guide the heavenly tribulation to target them? Boom! Su Yin rushed over. Although he didn't attack, the lightning that bathed his body also drowned this true immortal. He wanted to guide the heavenly tribulation to destroy these 9 true immortals and deal a heavy blow to the sky bamboo lineage. Only at the source of the heavenly tribulation would one know the strongest power of this tribulation. What level was it at? This was the trial of life. It carried the crushing pressure of the immortal Tao. Tens of thousands of layers fell down. A true immortal's body collapsed. Rolling lightning entered his body, causing him so much pain that he wished he could die immediately. Who are you? He let out a trembling voice. He came into close contact with Su Yin. The charred body of Su Yin exuded a majestic aura of life. His qi and blood were exuberant beyond compare. His soul light was blazing. He was ridiculously powerful. It was equivalent to a true immortal howling here. He didn't believe that this was Xia Kunlun. His body was equivalent to the indestructible body, and his dermic powers were equivalent to the young Devil King. He completely possessed the potential of a peak void immortal. The moment he ignited, the blazing light filled the sky. Together with the rolling lightning, it swallowed him up. In the end, a miserable cry exploded. This true immortal finally exploded, his body and Tao vanishing. Heavens, he killed a true immortal. He killed him with the heavenly tribulation. The experts of the immortal sect orthodoxies sucked in a breath of cold air and said in shock, "He's only a void immortal." He killed a true immortal in this state. Just how heaven-defying is the heavenly tribulation this guy attracted? What was important was not Su Yan's strength, but that they were shocked by the strength of the heavenly tribulation. Even a true immortal was destroyed in body and soul. It was obvious how heaven-defying the heavenly tribulation he attracted was. He attacked again. He rushed toward the other true immortal experts and imprisoned 8 true immortals in the heavenly tribulation. This lunatic really doesn't know how serious the consequences are. The world was shocked. Many experts who were watching the battle through the space-time treasured mirror changed their expressions. Then, the path to heaven changed color. In this space-time wormhole, boundless tribulations flowed. Endless lightning brewed, accompanied by heavenly winds, immortal flames, drifting blood rain. In short, at the source of the heavenly tribulation, strange phenomena filled the sky. Boundless tribulations fell, drowning the space-time wormhole, and then continued to move downwards. Downwards it overturned. Boom! Heaven and earth trembled. The killing tribulation was endless. Nothing could be seen in the direction of the source. Only thick lightning and blazing immortal flames could be seen in the sky, accompanied by the whistling of the heavenly winds. It was as if it was turning into a life-forbidden zone. This was very terrifying. Even from far away, the onlookers could see the intensity of the storm. Each of them had a headache. If they were in the middle of the heavenly tribulation, they would definitely be blasted into ashes. This heavenly tribulation enveloped 8 true immortals, causing the heavenly tribulation to be violent. A sea of lightning covered the mountains and rivers, crushing everything in its path. Miserable wails, one after another, exploded. Although the scene shown by the space-time treasured mirror could not see the situation inside the heavenly tribulation, there was an explosion of immortal energy, accompanied by a bloody light that dyed the sky red. B***starred. The upper echelons of sky bamboo were so angry that their hearts trembled and their eyes turned red. The true immortals of their clan in the 10,000 clan battlefield were quite limited. In order to suppress Xia, Kunlun, and the others, a total of 10 true immortals had been mobilized. Now, several of them had already fallen. If the 10 true immortal lineages fell, the consequences would be unimaginable. The space-time wormhole they created might be invaded by outsiders. Although Xia Kunlun is a void immortal, he can't hold on for too long under such a powerful heavenly tribulation. It will definitely end soon. Sky Bamboo was certain that Xia Kunlun was transcending the tribulation of true immortals. However, with 9 true immortals undergoing the tribulation together, he would definitely not be able to hold on until the end. The surviving true immortals might still be saved. However, their self-consolation did not last for long. Boom! The vast sea of lightning filled the sky, and the momentum became more and more terrifying. The place of tribulation transcendence, chaotic scenes of gods and demons. A figure bathed in blood erupted with the most powerful combat strength, attacking the rolling lightning of the heavenly tribulation. He kept waving his fists, enduring the torture of life, the burning of the immortal flames, and the tearing of the heavenly winds. In the end, Su Yin released a great roar, his aura powerful and intimidating. In a short period of time, he transformed into the 3 pure ones, his entire body surging out, possessing an unrivaled peerless spirit. Kill, he roared. The 3 figures shone at the same time, their auras surging, bombarding the heavenly tribulation until it exploded. It was as if an unrivaled emperor had appeared, issuing a challenge to the heavens. He wanted to bear the most powerful, great tribulation. He felt that it wasn't strong enough. Under the tempering of the heavenly tribulation, he felt his own life essence boiling, going crazy, but it was extremely difficult to strengthen, extremely difficult to push it out. Still not enough. He roared at the heavenly tribulation, demanding an even more powerful trial. He wanted to borrow the tempering of the heavenly tribulation to reopen the path of life, essence, evolution. This lunatic, he's a lunatic. The several true immortals who were still alive were terrified. Who exactly was he? He dared to provoke the heavenly tribulation, demanding an even more powerful great tribulation, especially his transformation into the 3 pure ones. It was terrifying beyond compare. Could it be that Xia Kunlun, the imperishable body, and the young Devil King were the same person? When they thought of this, they felt despair. If it really was as they guessed, then this would shock the entire world. At the same time, it also indicated that history's most powerful divine ability, one chi into 3 pure ones. From this moment on, great changes were born. Within the bottomless heavenly tribulation, a terrifying great tribulation immediately surged. What was this? Primal chaos flowed out like a sea, engulfing the sea of stars, destroying the heavens, destroying everything. Everything within a range of 1,000,000 li was reduced to scorched earth without any life. This was the most powerful great primal chaos tribulation descending into the world, bringing with it the supreme judgment to kill Su Yin. Chapter 1492. The Chaos Tribulation was one of the most powerful heavenly tribulations. Once it descended, it was equivalent to the power of heavenly punishment capable of destroying the world. Generally speaking, such heavenly tribulations were rare. Only heaven-defying geniuses could trigger the strongest trial of the Chaos Tribulation. If they couldn't survive it, their bodies and souls would be destroyed. But if they could survive it, they could reap a shocking fortune. Chaos. The entire space-time wormhole was covered by chaos, stirring up a destructive storm that swept across the vast mountains and rivers, causing a great tremor. So many true immortals were caught in it, causing the heavenly tribulations to change dramatically, giving birth to the strongest chaos tribulation. The heavenly bamboo lineage is finished. They've suffered so many casualties. These are 10 true immortals. Once they die in the heavenly punishment, their lineage's influence in the 10,000-tribe battlefield will be greatly reduced. What kind of immortal orthodoxy is an immortal orthodoxy without a true immortal? Some people mocked and ridiculed. They were not on good terms with the heavenly bamboo bloodline. Now that they saw them in trouble, they immediately sneered. Under the most powerful tribulation, even this expert related to the heavenly court bloodline will nurse a grievance. This is the trial of primal chaos. Who can make it through? It was a shocking scene. Since the opening of the 10,000-tribe battlefield, there had been heaven-defying geniuses who had bathed in the strongest tribulations. Some survived and some died. In short, the number of survivors was limited. But the chaos tribulation of the true immortal realm was even more shocking. Once it struck, the sky would be overturned, the sun would sink, and the moon would fall. It was terrifying beyond compare. This is heaven-defying. The onlookers in the distant worlds were terrified. A group of Xian people's true immortals were entrenched. They wanted to join forces with the heavenly bamboo lineage to suppress the young Devil King. But they didn't expect the heavenly bamboo lineage to forbid them from entering. This annoyed the Xian people. After all, to the heavenly bamboo lineage, this place was related to their primogenitor's fortune land. They couldn't let any outsiders near this resource mystic realm. Should I be glad or happy? The 3 Xian people's true immortals sneered. Although the young Devil King had disappeared again, it was still a good thing that Ingjia, who was related to him, died. However, they regretted that they could not find the young Devil King again through Xia Kunlun. In any case, the chaos heavenly tribulation had already descended upon the world. Bolts of lightning interwoven with the immortal Tao of primordial chaos descended, crushing everything in their path. You will die a horrible death. The true immortals of the sky, bamboo bloodline, who were suffering tribulation, howled in despair. There was no way for them to survive. It was difficult for them to resist. The rolling chaos, heavenly tribulation tore apart their bodies. The terrifying power of judgment cruelly crushed down on their life energy. One after another, the true immortals screamed. At the moment of death, their hearts were filled with unwillingness. Now, they only wanted to find out who Xia Kunlun was. However, even when they died, Su Yin did not say a single word. These true immortals went on their way with endless unwillingness, their bodies and souls destroyed. Boom. Similarly, Su Yin didn't have it easy either. There was no place for him in the vast chaotic calamity. Everything exploded. Along with the destructive chaotic luster, it cruelly suppressed Su Yin. In a single exchange, Su Yan's 3 avatars trembled violently and were sent flying. The 3 avatars showed signs of being destroyed at the same time. Roar! Su Yan's blood-stained hair danced in the wind. His 3 avatars shone at the same time. In an extreme eruption, they fused and recombined. In an instant, Su Yan's aura changed. The Chi 3 pure ones fused briefly, and he seemed to have turned into a true immortal. He emanated an unparalleled divine might. In the chaos, he exploded, An aura that was enough to make the world tremble was released. Suyin had turned into a peak void immortal. His body emitted a towering radiance. It was as if a universe was blooming. Along with the aura of the beginning of all things, it erupted wildly. Kill! Suyin laughed maniacally. With a wild and domineering aura and a storm that could destroy everything, he brandished his fist and charged toward the chaotic calamity. Under the starry sky, above the universe, chaos flowed and killing intent descended. Only one person was like an eternal and indestructible god-fiend. His battle blood burned as he unleashed his most powerful attacks toward the chaotic calamity. Dong, dong, dong. Almost every punch drew blood. Suyan's entire body was covered by chaotic lightning. Only his body was indestructible. He forcefully endured the crushing and judgment of the chaos. He wanted to kill his way to an eternal and indestructible path. However, the phenomenon of the chaotic calamity becoming more and more intense and shocking. The huge space-time wormhole seemed to have manifested 3,000 god-fiends. The immortal Tao laws descended and laid down a deadly order. Thousands of layers fell and suppressed Suyin. Suyan's primordial spirit trembled. He had sensed a great danger. However, he was not afraid at all. Instead, his blood was boiling. This was the path to becoming stronger. There was no need to be afraid. He wanted to kill his way out and become an invincible void immortal. In the future, he would dominate a space-time wormhole and obtain the strongest seat. Then, in the 10,000 tribes battlefield, Suyin would be able to become a powerful true immortal in a short time. Come, I want to become stronger. No one can stop me. I want to strengthen the essence of my life and achieve my strongest path. Come, let's kill our way to the immortal realm and become invincible. Suyan's black hair danced wildly. His energy soared into the sky. His cold eyes were burning with the flames of battle. In the chaotic world, Suyin unleashed his strongest attack. He took the initiative to face the attack and endured the cruelest test. At that instant, the two true immortals of the heavenly bamboo lineage fell apart too. Before they died, they saw how terrifying Suyin was. They saw an invincible young man in his prime. They even saw the initial fist, the force of reincarnation, the path of calamity, the immeasurable palm, and the three pure ones. A series of strongest secret arts were unleashed. Suyin was like a golden god-fiend fighting against the heavens and earth. This was the indestructible body, the legendary supreme treasure body. Who are you? They went on their way with unwillingness and despair. Who were they going to turn into in the end? Before they died, they had a feeling that he might also be part of the future monarch ranking contest. The chaos tribulation isn't over yet. This is ridiculous. I saw immortal glows exploding one after another. There's no doubt that the 10 true immortals of the heavenly bamboo lineage were killed. None of them survived. This is unbelievable. He killed 10 true immortals just by overcoming the tribulation. The heavenly bamboo lineage is going to vomit blood. Even though the experts that died were not peak true immortals, but those who had just reached the true immortal realm, they were still crucial in the future contest of the 10,000 tribes battlefield. But now, the 10 true immortals had died in battle. Bastard. The Qingshan continent. The entire continent had almost fallen. The progenitors were enraged. Who exactly did they offend? Why did their tribe have to go through such a tragedy? It's definitely related to the Xianwang universe. They are here for revenge, Zhu Lihui was regretful. They had suffered a great loss because of Bamboo Moon. They had poked a huge hornet's nest. Zhu Lihui, look at what you've done. The various tribes already knew about this matter. The tribe leader was furious. For the sake of a sky bamboo dharma seed, they had lost too many things. What was even more laughable was that they still did not know who the enemy was and who was protecting Zhu Yu. Pass down the order immediately. The heavenly bamboo tribe leader said, "We can't afford to lose the primogenitor's place of death. Send people from the other space-time wormholes to the primogenitor's place of death. No matter the price, we must suppress Xia Kunlun. If necessary, Let the Xian people join in and suppress Xia Kunlun. The matter was getting out of hand. The chaos tribulation had been brewing for such a long time, and Xia Kunlun was still undergoing the tribulation. This meant that the problem was serious. He might become a peak true immortal. Once such a ruthless person was born, it would be a devastating blow to the heavenly bamboo lineage. Moreover, there was hope that the primogenitor's place of death could be opened a second time. They still had a chance to start anew. The tribe leader's order was quickly passed down to the heavenly bamboo lineage. It caused quite a commotion in the various battlefields. Meanwhile, the chaos tribulation had lasted for almost an entire day. It had to be said that the giants of the immortal sects were slightly shocked. This was the chaos tribulation, and its power hadn't decreased even after the death of the 10 true immortals. This meant that Xia Kunlun had the potential to be strong enough. This was very impressive. They also wanted to know the specific progress of the Tribulation Land. Unfortunately, no matter how powerful the space-time mirror was, it couldn't see what was going on inside the Tribulation Land. Su Yin had been fighting for an entire day. His body was covered in blood and wounds. He was knocked away by the chaos tribulation again and again. However, Su Yin got up again and rebuilt his body with the heaven-patching technique. Again, he was bathed in blood. His ferocious aura surged. He stretched his arms and tore apart the layers of chaotic lightning, attacking the deepest part of the Tribulation Land. Boom! At this moment, the chaos tribulation surged again, covering 1,000,000 miles of the chaos zone and forming a giant chaotic lightning vortex. It was like two giant chaotic hands that covered the area and attacked Su Yin. The all-encompassing chaotic attack was enough to destroy the overlords and the supreme life forms. Under the peerless oppression, Su Yin's body was about to collapse and explode. The most powerful judgment was like a whip that was interrogating the path of life. I'm going to break through. His eyes shone fiercely, and his primordial spirit let out a roar. When his body was about to explode, astonishing vitality flowed in his body. A layer of shackles was crushed. Su Yan's aura was surging endlessly. His body was like a sleeping dragon, quickly growing and breaking the shackles. He changed in an instant, like a divine devil that had broken the shackles and opened the deepest level of his life essence. It was as if he had swallowed the rare life essence evolution fluid. Ha ha ha!